Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto leaves Konoha and winds up in Kamuri where he becomes the Kaibunkage part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. While it was not the largest village in the nations, in fact it could be considered as one of the smallest, Hoshigakure no Sato has survived for more than 200 years. Of course, due to its old training regime and power-hungry civilians, this did not come without sacrifice. But the village was sure to continue to strive so that maybe one day, their Kage would be recognized as an equal with the other Kages. Today, the official Yondaime Hoshikage stood in front of the village with his 2 reformed bodyguards, Shiso and Yotaka. His wife, Hokuto, stood beside him with a small smile. He is taking longer than I expected, stated the 4th star shadow. That baka is never on time for a meeting. I bet he stopped for ramen. Hokuto smiled. Sumura-kun, be patient. It's quite the journey from Kamuri to Hoshi. Sure it is, Sumura said before a red-haired woman appeared beside him. Akane, what's the situation? One of my messenger hawks has returned. The green-eyed redhead replied. The Kaibunkage is less than a mile away. Good, said the Hoshikage. Find Mizura and tell him to prepare my personal training area. I'm going to bash one baka into the ground and I don't want anyone around when I do so. Hi, Akane said before leaping away. As his assistant left him, Sumura's eyes turned to the traveling clouds ahead. He wondered why Naruto had asked for this meeting to happen in Hoshigakure instead of Kamurigakure, but he did not push the matter verbally. Whatever the blonde had done, it would come out soon. After the death of his former friend and biggest rival, he was made Godame Hokage. Yes, Shimura Danzo had persuaded the fire daimyo when choosing between himself and Tsunade. Now the 5th fire shadow sat in his desk reading over a report about a missing nin of Konoha, Harino Sakura. She was seen in Wave Country, you say? Stated Danzo. Bring me Inizuka Kiba, Aburame Toryun, and Hyuga Takuma. Hi, Sai said before he left to do what he was ordered to. Seconds after the young man left, Hatake Kakashi walked into the room with Tsunade. I'm guessing you have heard about Sakura's sightings. Danzo said. Forgive me for asking, Lord Hokage, but what do you plan on doing to her once she is brought in? Questioned the former Jonin Senshi of Team 7. She has attacked several Leaf Shinobi, has disbanded from her home village, denied my orders, and has attempted to assassinate the leader of another village. I think you know what my plans are, Hatake. Danzo answered. Tsunade growled. That leader was Orochimaru. Even if she did stand a chance and defeated him, she would have been doing the world a favor. True, but in the midst of attacking him, she also attempting an attack on Mikazuki Kajino, the current Mizukage, who was there with Orochimaru. Danzo continued, she is to be killed before we have another nuke that gives Konoha a bad complexion. Before you kill her, let me talk to her. She is no longer your student, Tsunade, and she is no longer a ninja of my village. Hissed the Hokage. If you are here to plead for her life, then I suggest you leave now. It is futile. Why you, Lady Tsunade, Kakashi began. Danzo is right. Sakura chose to become this, and she used your and my training to become strong enough to do so. We can only pray that she turns herself in before it's too late. It already is. Tsunade replied before marching out, slamming the door as she did so. The Unspeakable 3. That is what they called them now. The Unspeakable 3. And if she was anything like her former self, she would have marched up to whoever started that name, and gave them a severe blow to the head. Instead, she just smirked. It did make sense. Uchiha Sasuke abandoned the village in search for power. Uzumaki Naruto soon left afterwards because he hated being treated like a caged animal, and she left in search of her teammates. All 3 of them had a common ulterior motive as well. They each had a reason to hate the current Hokage, Danzo. See, can I get you some and more tea? A waiter asked as he stood shaking. Emerald eyes glanced at him. No. That is all. Thank you, Hi. The man said before scurrying away. 22 years old Harino Sakura grabbed the small cup of tea and sipped some. She remembered Sasuke's last words and how they stung. He had called her annoying, and in retrospect, when she had caught Naruto leaving as well, he had said the exact opposite. Instead of calling her annoying, he admitted his feelings even though they were pretty much obvious. And instead of telling her thank you like Sasuke did, Naruto's last words were I'm sorry, Sakura-chan, and that was it. Then there was Ino, who tried to stop Sakura from leaving. The match was nothing like their previous one at the Chunin exam. No. Sakura had won that one in a landslide victory. Then again, training with Tsunade, Kakashi, and Kurenai would do that to a person. Message from Miss Harino Sakura. A man said from the entrance to the restaurant. The atmosphere seemed to grow dark and cold as no one moved a muscle. The pink-haired woman glanced at him. Could this be it? I'm right here, Sakura said. The messenger came and laid a scroll in front of Sakura. She smiled before using a finger to motion him closer to her before kissing his cheek. Thanks. The man blushed severely before making his way to the door. However, before making it there, he collapsed. Sakura giggled a bit. Killing a civilian was wrong, but seeing other people suffer like she did made her feel better. Her attention then turned to the scroll and she opened it. Green eyes scanned the message quickly before a small black diamond was seen on her forehead, purple tribal marks slowly taking over her face. Found you. Sakura said angrily before punching the table, decimating it in seconds. The man of 22 years smiled as he eyed his friend. Well, it's about time, Samura stated. What took you so long? A black cat crossed my path, so I had to find a different route. You know. Just in case. Naruto said. With Naruto were his former student, Kurasuke Ranmaru, and the former sound Nin, Girin. Samura looked at Ranmaru, knowing that the teen would tell him the truth. Lady May wouldn't allow Naruto-sensei to drop all of his paperwork on her while she watched over the village in his absence. Ranmaru said. It was a bit boring, but here we are. You're so going on farming duty when we returned. Naruto muttered before looking at Sumeru. So, are you ready for me to tell you what's so important? I thought that we were going to go to the nonsense, stated the blonde Kaibunkage. Let's tour the village and talk. Sumeru eyed Ranmaru and Girin, both giving him a nonchalant shrug before following Naruto and Hokuto. So, Naruto-kun, Hokuto began. How are you? Have you found a new girlfriend yet? How's the village? Naruto laughed a bit. I'm fine. No, I haven't. And the village is okay so long as no one pisses Mei-chan off, or disturbs the Kaibunkage. Ramen breaks, Ranmaru muttered, gaining a smirk from Girin. Not that I worry that you'll take my wife away from me, stated Sumeru. But I'm still curious as to why you came all this way. What is so important that you came here instead of meeting in Wave or Kamuri like normal? 2 reasons. 1. Akatsuki is on the move. Gaara is their first target. Naruto stated. Sumeru frowned. How do you know this? Gaara has sent a message to the other 5 great nations asking them for help. Deidara and Sasori had attempted to break into the village once and were stopped, but he doesn't think that they will be stopped again. He feels as if Sasori has a spy within the village. Explained Naruto. A team of my shinobi that were patrolling the sea between Kaibun no Kuni and Mizu no Kuni picked up a message from the Mizukage to the Kazekage, rejecting the offer to help. And the second reason? Hokuto questioned. My former teammates. Naruto answered. Uchiha Sasuke was last seen in Ishi no Kuni, possibly talking to the leader of Ishigekyo for Orochimaru. He was seen with his team, Hibi, as I hear they are called. Naruto then glanced at the sky. As for Haruno Sakura, she was seen on her way to Nami. And how do you know that? Sumeru asked. Blue met brown as Naruto glanced at the Hashikage. I've contacted her. That statement made Shiso and Yotaka glance at one another. Sakura had escaped their former boss's grasp once, using her feminine charms to seduce Akahoshi, poison him, and escape. While the poison did not kill Akahoshi, it did give Hadarubi and Sumeru a better chance in defeating him. Therefore, there was nothing the two would love more for the little horde to suffer at their hands. As for Sumeru, he only stared at Naruto. He was angry. No. He was beyond angry. Why would Naruto contact a B-ranked criminal? We should have talked in my office, Sumeru said. It was obvious to the others that Sumeru was doing all that he could to remain composed. What did you ask her, Lord Kaibunkage? I gave her a message telling her to meet me on the edge of Kaibun no Kuni in 2 days. She and I have unfinished business. Girin and Ranmaru glanced at one another. While dense at some times of the day, the wrath of the Shodaime Kaibunkage was truly a frightful thing to see. And that's what brings me here, in Hoshi. I personally wanted you to do me 2 favors. 2. Naruto repeated. Favor 1, a team to Suna giving the Kazekage coordinates to Kamuri. Why don't you do that yourself? Sumeru asked. I have other things to worry about. Besides, seeing a star shinobi going to Suna isn't something I expect the other villages to get riled up about. A smoke Nin, however, would. We're known for our secrecy and independence, you know? While hating the blonde, Sumeru had to agree. The ninja world did view the Hidden Smoke village as an independent village with very little regards for the others. Sumeru sighed. What's the second thing? A team to Ishii. Naruto casually said. It's no secret that Ishii and Kamuri hate one another. If any of my men were caught, they'd be sucked for information and then killed on the spot. Again, capturing a Hoshi Nin does not seem like that big of a gain for the other village or country. Fine, it's done, responded the Hashikage. Just one more question, Naruto raised his eyebrows. Just what will you do when you finally reunite with Haruno Sakura? Naruto gave a grin. Don't worry. I know how much she means to you, poisoning Akahoshi and all. If I do kill her, I'll let you say thank you first. You're too kind. Sumeru said. Standing at Zabuza's grave, Sakura stared at the site with an emotionless stare. Her mind replayed the mission to the Land of Waves that she went on so many years ago, back when she was an annoying fangirl of the most amazing person she knew at that time, and their third teammate was a hyperactive blonde idiot. Now they were different. First, Sasuke was nowhere near amazing. A tough shinobi, yeah, but not amazing. He was heartless, and Sakura had it in her mind that she would be the one to deliver the killing blow to him. She would do it, not for herself, but because Sasuke had attempted to do the same thing to Naruto. The only person in this entire world that actually gave a damn about her, and he had changed. After the failed Sasuke retrieval mission, Naruto was more aware of his surroundings. He was able to point out every single root member that tailed him and Sakura when the two would walk through the village. Of course, because of Naruto's special power he was limited to the missions he could go on, though he did get some training in with Asuma and Kakashi. Sakura smiled a bit. That little baka continued to grow stronger while constantly looking over his shoulder. She was not surprised that he attempted to leave, hell she had even caught him in the act, but she was amazed at how much he could endure. Carrying the scorn of what seemed like the entire village minus a few for nearly an entire year, he had definitely changed from the annoying prankster he once was. And then there was her, Haruno Sakura. At one point of time, the thought of abandoning her village and living on the run would have scared her and prevented her from getting enough of her beauty sleep. Now, she laughed at the thought of returning back to the Hidden Leaf village. She had changed in the one way she never thought possible. She became one with her teammates. Their ideals, their likes, their dislikes, their dreams, and their emotions, she has now learned and understood them. She understood why Sasuke needed to kill his brother to avenge his clan and then start anew. She understood why Naruto needed the attention as well as why he wanted the respectful title of Hokage. In the past, she thought they were foolish, both of them, for their dreams. Killing an S-rank criminal? The dead last becoming Hokage? Both were laughable and highly doubtful. Now she believed that if anyone could do it, it would be those two. And she would be there to watch it. Her mind then took a step backwards as she pictured Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto, the next Hokage. The line could be said over and over in her head to help her sleep at night, but the truth of the matter is, it would never happen. She wondered if he really was the Kaibunkage or if this was just another trap set by Danzo. Was Naruto even alive? No. That was a foolish thought. He was alive. Somewhere. Terumi Mei was a powerful figure within the village hidden in smoke. She served as the temp Kaibunkage whenever Naruto had to leave the village. She was also a great advisor and an excellent mentor. There were times when her anger got the best of her, but normally she was a loving, carefree, beautiful woman, and that was why Chojuro left with her. It was quite unfair that the Kiri Council opted to go with Kajino instead of Mei. Chojuro, the woman said, breaking her assistant and guard out of his thoughts. Where is Sayuri? I told her to be here in 5 minutes. It's now 10 minutes. I told her that you wanted to speak to her, but Chojuro's words trailed off as he thought about the brash teenager. It was best to let the dagger-wielding girl to be left alone when she became angered. Mei gave a small sigh and then smiled politely. Chojuro, find her or I'll kill you. Hi. Chojuro responded before leaving instantly. Mei looked out of the window slightly. Whenever Orochimaru met up with someone, it was never really good. And when that someone was Mikazuki Kajino, it only made things worse. While the Hidden Mist and Hidden Smoke did well to stay out of each other's business, it was no secret that Mei had left Kiri for Kamuri. It would be only a matter of time before they came to find her. Then there was the information that Haruno Sakura would soon be in the village. Naruto was very clear about the orders. Allow Sakura to come in and wait if he was not there. But there was one slight catch. If Sakura were to try anything funny, they'd kill her. Mei was a bit surprised at that. While Naruto was able to fake many people out with his fake smiles, she knew him better than that. In fact, she and Renmura have both been able to pick up on which smiles were real and which were fake. So when Naruto gave her a smile and said that the decision was alright with him, Mei knew he was lying. Somewhere inside of him he wanted Sakura to live. Then again, he probably wanted to hit her with 1 or 2 Rasengan for Sasuke shoving a Chidori into his chest and then being put under watch by Danzo. Hey old law, the loudmouth, purple-haired Kunoichi did not get all of it out as Mei launched a stapler at her Miki Sayuri. It met its mark, knocking the girl flat onto her back. Call me old again and I'll do more than that. Mei muttered. The girl on the ground splashed into a puddle of water before Sayuri poked her head into the door. Is it safe? Asked the Kamuri Kunoichi. What did you want? I have a mission for you, Mei stated. Sayuri's dark green eyes widened. You're going to go find Haruno Sakura and bring her to the village. I will send Yukimaru with you, Sayuri groaned. Yukimaru? But he's just a chunin, and your point? If anything should happen he will unleash the power of the Sanbai, Mei said. I could always send you with someone else. Chojuro, Tsuchigamo Jin, Kazudin. The last name caused Sayuri to shiver. Naruto's personal problem solver was not a force to reckon with, and the newly made Jonin would never get on his bad side again. Fine. Yukimaru's fine, Sayuri said. But what if she attacks and knocks him out before the stupid turtle reacts? You expect me to take her on by myself? Mei smiled. You're not afraid, are you, Sayuri-chan? What? Hell no. I'm the Black Rose of the Hidden Smoke. I'm not afraid of anyone, shouted Sayuri before turning around. I'll find Guren's precious Nai-san and we'll go off as soon as possible. And when Naruto-sensei returns, tell him that it was I who took down the famous Haruno Sakura. Just watch out for her kisses. I hear they're deadly. Instead of a verbal response, Sayuri just scoffed and left the office. Mei chuckled quietly before looking at Sayuri's profile on her desk. And Naruto says she's nothing like him. I doubt that. Nightfall came over the village before anyone knew it. And that was just fine by him. He hated being spotted anyway. Fortunately, he and his team were not drawing attention to themselves or else. Sasuke-kun, damn this woman, he thought. I don't think we can trust this Kagami Dosen guy. We shouldn't have asked for his help. Are you insane, woman? If Orochimaru heard that we didn't get him on our side, shut the hell up. I was talking to Sasuke-kun. Karen snapped at Suigetsu before he could finish. Sasuke sighed. Yugo, I need you to use the animals to tell us the best way to get through earth, wind, and rain countries. There shouldn't be much problem getting through Tori no Kuni. Hi. Yugo responded before calling for a bird. Karen, I also need you to stay focused. I don't want another mishap like in River Country. Sasuke said sternly. Karen nodded vigorously as Suigetsu laughed. While Karen had been so enraptured in flirting with Sasuke, a censor who could suppress his chakra to minute levels was able to attack. Of course, no one really surprised Uchiha Sasuke anymore, and the man was quickly dealt with. But Sasuke was thoroughly pissed that Karen had slacked off for just a split second, and the redhead had been trying relentlessly to get him to forgive her. So, are we going after your teammate in Wave? Stated Suigetsu. You know, the one you said loved you so much, Karen scoffed. Why would we want to go after her? No. Sakura poses no threat to us, replied the Uchiha. And I doubt that we'll hear anything from Naruto in a long time. Suigetsu frowned. The blonde idiot? Sasuke gave Suigetsu a glance that any normal person would have believed it to be just that, a glance, but Suigetsu tensed a bit. While his Sharingan may have been inactive at the moment, Sasuke had a thought about striking. Don't underestimate him, Sasuke said. He knows the Rasengan, an attack that is stronger than my Chidori. Suigetsu gave a small disapproving snort. If we ever run into him, the same rule applies to him as they do Itachi. I face my brother alone. Both of them. No one said a word for 2 reasons. When Sasuke wanted to fight someone on his own, it usually meant that they were strong enough to gain the Uchiha's interest. The only exception would be Itachi, who Sasuke had a grudge against. The second reason was that Sasuke had called this Naruto a brother. Even if their teamwork had slowly been growing, Sasuke would never view any of them as his family. This Naruto character must be important to Sasuke. She wore a fishnet top beneath a gray flak jacket and a black skirt, her Kamuragakure height in the fashion of a belt around her waist, her purple hair done in the style of a ponytail with 2 silver chin-length bangs on the side of her face. Her dark green eyes continued to look at her traveling companion, one hand dangerously close to one of her treasured dirks. Hey Sayuri-chan, began the girl's partner for the mission. You think Yurin-chan and Ranmaru-kun arrived to the village already? For the 100th time, yes. Sayuri shouted. You didn't have to yell, said the younger boy. Sayuri sighed heavily. I could have been put with anyone else. But no. I get Yukimaru because he's the favorite of our temporary Kaibunkage. Sayuri then saw the expression on Yukimaru's face. Remembering her first out-of-village mission with Kazudin, she sighed. Look, I don't want to baby you on a mission where we'll be facing an S-ranked criminal, but I thought she was just A. That's what they want you to believe. Truthfully, Haruno Sakura is one of the most dangerous people in the entire world. Remember, she was on Naruto-sensei's team. She's super tough. Yukimaru blinked before nodding. Right, Sayuri-chan? Man, you're really smart. I forgot all about that, stated Yukimaru. Sayuri smirked proudly. Well, Naruto-sensei didn't promote me to Jonin for nothing. But why is Ranmaru escorting the Kaibunkage and Marashu in ANBU? Yukimaru questioned sincerely. Shut up, Yukimaru, Sayuri said before muttering to herself. Brat. The 3 men dashed through the trees at high speeds while a large white dog followed on the ground. Kiba-san, said the eyes of the team, Hyuga Takuma. Have you picked up on her scent yet? Not yet, Kiba responded. We need to hurry, Torian stated. If she leaves, there is no telling on where she might go, and Danzo-sama will not tolerate failure. Right, Kiba and Takuma said. Naruto was currently on his way back to Kamuragakure with Ranmaru and Guren both following silently. He knew what the problem was, Sakura. While Naruto did not see Sakura as a serious threat, he did know to not let her kiss him. Those lips had been the death of a handful of men. Naruto-sensei, Naruto glanced over his shoulder at Ranmaru. When Haruno Sakura shows up, what are our orders? Secure the area. I don't want anything or anyone getting in the way, Naruto answered. The wind blew slightly and Naruto clutched his dark gray kage hat before it flew off of his head. I don't think this is the smartest idea, stated Guren. Sakura is a threat to all of the villages. If she found out where Kamuragakure is located, then she could easily reveal the location towards other villages such as Ishii and Konoha. You're right, Naruto said casually. And you're not worried? Guren asked. No, Naruto said with a grin. And neither should you. I have a plan. Hi, Lord Kaibunkage, Guren said. Within the village hidden among tree leaves, Naruto Shikamaru was having another troublesome morning when his former teammate, Yamanaka Ino, barged into his home to wake him up. Of course, today was pretty important as the council was going to discuss Konoha's part in a battle against Akatsuki. Now, Shikamaru disagreed with this convention for 2 major reasons. Reason 1, that meant more work for him, and reason 2, Konoha's Jinchuriki had left years ago. Putting those 2 reasons together, and Shikamaru had already theorized that the Hidden Leaf should actually stay out of Akatsuki's way unless the group did something personal to them. Of course, there was the run-in with Kakuzu and Haiden, But Asuma lived and all was right in the world. Sure. Ka. Mar. Ru. Shikamaru threw a pillow over his face as he heard the troublesome woman once more. Sometimes he wished that it was Ino that got all lovesick and chased after Sasuke. But if that were to happen, he'd feel even worse. Get your lazy ass up, Ino, stated the next clan leader of the Nara clan. Could you keep it down a little bit? I'm trying to rest before the meeting later on today. Ino's eyebrow twitched. You mean the one that's happening in 5 minutes? Damn, his sense of time was becoming that of Kakashi's. I'm coming, Shikamaru said, getting out of the sheets. He gave yawn and rubbed the back of his neck. Just why do they have to meet so early in the morning anyway? If I didn't have a genin team to meet with, I'd actually take the time out to beat your lazy ass. Get a move on, Ino said angrily. All right, Shikamaru said. Troublesome woman. Unfortunately for Shikamaru, Ino had learned how to do a lot more with her hair than she did when fighting against Sakura at the Chunin exams 10 years ago. And one of those techniques was strangling her opponent with said hair, or just holding them still, while she delivered a blow with her free hands. All in all, it was going to be a troublesome morning indeed. Sayuri and Yukimaru arrived at Chukin Point, an islet in between the land of water and the land of ash that merchants used as a resting area. This is where the two were to meet Sakura at. I wish you could summon sharks instead of dolphins, Sayuri told her companion. It would come in handy when she tries to attack. But Sayuri-chan, dolphins are pretty useful too. And dangerous, responded Yukimaru. Sayuri gave him a nonchalant wave. Yeah? Whatever. Sharks would have been better. Yukimaru did not respond, the sleeves of his gray shirt swallowing his hands as he stood like a child with his mother. He then remembered that Sayuri liked to battle and smiled brightly. Hey Sayuri-chan, do you want to see a trick I learned from Goza-san? Yukimaru asked. Sayuri sighed. No. I want you to stand here and be on your guard. I read that Sakura can repress her chakra and hide, as well as cast genjutsu that can fool most people. We have to be on our toes. Children? He sent children? Sayuri and Yukimaru turned to the woman. She wore the noted red top, black skirt, black gloves, and black heels as the description said she would, but more importantly, she had pink hair and green eyes. Sayuri moved in front of Yukimaru, both of her hands on her dirks. What are your names? You don't need to know that, responded Sayuri. We're here to take you to Kamurigakyu no Sato where you will await our Kaibunkage. Sakura smirked. Oh really? And who says that I won't force you to take me there? Sayuri blinked. What? It doesn't matter. You're going there to wait for the Kaibunkage. No, said Sakura. Sayuri's hands were now gripping the handles of her blades. Not until you answer me 2 questions. What are they? Yukimaru asked. Shut up. I got this. Sayuri snapped. What are your questions? Sakura giggled a bit. You're quite the hothead. That might get you killed one day. Sakura regained herself. Okay, question 1, what are your names? I'm Yukimaru, answered the boy. Sayuri thought about turning around and kicking the boy all the way back to the hidden smoke, but then she remembered that betrayal is one of the things that makes Yukimaru lose control over the standby. Instead, she sighed and answered the woman. Sayuri, now that I know that, Sakura said, I want to introduce myself. My name is Haruno Sakura. We know who you. Second question, Sayuri was not pleased about being interrupted but let it go for now. Does this Kage of yours have a name? I mean, surely he doesn't believe that I'll fall for a nameless man, does he? I'm not obliged to tell you anything. Now let's go, Sayuri said. Sakura's green eyes began to glow as she smiled sweetly. Oh, Yuki-kun, Sayuri blinked before looking at Yukimaru. The boy was completely in some trance. Sayuri then turned to see Sakura beckoning the young teen with a finger. Come here please. Right away, Sakura-chan, Yukimaru said in a monotone voice as he began to trudge towards Sakura. Sayuri grunted. That's it. Sayuri ran for Sakura. Now I'm going to cut you into 5 pieces and then ship you to Komori. Sakura ended her technique on Yukimaru and allowed Sayuri's daggers to slash her in half. A smile came on Sakura's face as her body deteriorated into pink petals. Sayuri glanced over at Yukimaru who was looking around in confusion. Get ready, Yukimaru. She's attacking, stated Sayuri. Huh. Oh right. Yukimaru replied, doing hand seals. Sayuri watched as the area around them was covered in a dark mist, her green eyes scanning the area carefully. Any normal shinobi would be angered by Yukimaru's illusionary mist technique. She then remembered that Sakura was a genjutsu specialist as well. This probably did nothing for her. Soon, several large stems began to fire from the ground around Sayuri and Yukimaru. Sayuri waited as each stem sprouted a large pink flower that released pink pollen. Yukimaru, stay focused. This is a genjutsu, Sayuri called. Right, Sakura said, coming from above. Sayuri was able to roll out of the way, the ground where she was previously on caving under Sakura's heavy stomp. Sakura then did hand seals and inhaled before exhaling a fireball. Fire release, great fireball jutsu. Not reading this attack in the file, Sayuri was thoroughly surprised until a large ball of water cancelled it out. Giving Yukimaru a nod of appreciation, Sayuri ran towards Sakura at faster speeds. Sakura took out two kunai and began to block Sayuri's strikes with her dirks. The sound of their metal clapping was heard throughout the entire resting area. "You're not bad, Sayuri-chan," Sakura said. "I'm just getting started," Sayuri said before spinning on her toes at high speed. "Yukimaru, take cover! Hi!" Yukimaru called before diving into the water. Sakura watched as Sayuri's body became something akin to a black tornado. An eyebrow arched as she remembered reading something about the Kurasuki clan and their black tornado technique, but this was different. Sayuri's body seemed to multiply before coming at Sakura at high speeds. The pink-haired rogue was able to dodge the three twisters safely, her mind wondering what rank Sayuri was. Surely she was at least a chunin with this speed and accuracy. Sakura came to a stop and saw the three twisters that were Sayuri and two clones, shadow clones Sakura presumed, circling around her. Soon they formed a larger black twister with Sakura in the eye of the storm. "Gotcha!" Sayuri shouted as her two dirks fired from the twister towards Sakura. Sakura leapt backwards to dodge the blades, only to be scratched on her back. She then realized that each clone must still hold a weapon. "You can't escape this. You're done for." Two more dirks came from Sakura's left, and the former Leaf Nin was forced to dodge again, a smile coming on her face. "This is pretty good," stated Sakura. "Too bad it can't really do anything against me." "I'm not done," came Sayuri's voice as her daggers shot from underground. Sakura jumped into the air, but the blades followed, twisting around one of another. "This is the end." Sakura held a hand seal before spitting a powerful blast of mud towards the blades. Earth release, mud bullet. The attack was able to knock the blades into the ground. Sakura began descending towards the ground with a chakra-enhanced fist. Shinaro, Yukimaru was sitting on one of his dolphin summons when he felt a strong gust of wind that disrupted Sayuri's technique. When the dust cleared, Sakura stood with a small smile and Sayuri was nowhere in sight. "So you can travel underground." "That's good to know," Sakura said, holding a hand seal. Shadow clone jutsu. Yukimaru's eyes widened. There were only two people he knew that used that technique, Naruto and Ranmaru. But now, Sakura had created two shadow clones that stood beside her. "Yumiku, while Sayuri-chan is using her Mayfly technique, we should distract Sakura," Yukimaru said. "Are you ready?" "Ready, Yukimaru-kun." The dolphin called before Yukimaru held a hand seal. Sakura watched water shoot from the dolphin's blowhole. The water seemed to freeze above her before firing down in thin needles. Water release, 1,000 raining needles. Sakura and her two clones got out of the way of the attack. The real Sakura glanced towards Yukimaru before firing 10 needles from her mouth. Prepared needle shot. Yumiku dove underwater, taking Yukimaru with him. Sakura then glanced around. "She can't stay underground for long," Sakura said. "Until then, I'll just wait." A man steered the horses ahead with the frightened child in the carriage. On either side of the carriage were two royal knights on horses. "We're not going to make it all the way to Kamuri," the man driving the carriage said. "We're heading towards Hoshigakure. The Hoshikage will know what to do," one of the knights said as they continued on. "We have already sent one of Akane-san's hawks back to her. Let's hope she gets it in time," the man said. "If not, Lady Shiori may be. Do not think that. We're getting closer," the second knight said. "Let's just hope we lost them." Sakura smiled. One of her clones now held Yukimaru in a loving embrace. The boy suckered into her glowing green eyes again. Sakura giggled a bit. Boys were so easy to seduce. "All right, Sayuri, here's the deal," stated Sakura as she revealed a kunai. "You come out and surrender and I go to Kamuri with your friend here alive. It's really your choice." Sayuri slowly came from beneath the ground, a black rose around her before dispersing. "Let him go first," Sayuri said. "Fine," Sakura said as her clone released Yukimaru. "Now put your little knives up." "Right," Sayuri said before Yukimaru saw a clone of Sayuri behind Sakura with the daggers ready for strike. Sakura sighed and turned around, extending her hand. Sayuri and Yukimaru were both stunned as the pink-haired kunoichi held Sayuri in place with just one finger. "I'll give you one chance to answer my second question or I'll knock you into next week," Sakura said. "Who is your Kaibunkage?" Sayuri grunted. If she did so much as a flinch, Sakura would not only attack her, but Yukimaru as well. "Terumi Mei," Sayuri lied calmly. "Our Kaibunkage, the woman who sent me here, is Terumi Mei." Sakura's eyes widened in fury as the black diamond appeared on her forehead. Sayuri actually froze in fear as Sakura grabbed the girl's collar and hoisted her into the air. "Uzumaki. Naruto. Where the hell is Uzumaki Naruto?" Sakura asked through gritted teeth. Sayuri went to use her daggers, but Sakura quickly tossed the girl towards the water. Yukimaru watched in awe and fear as the smoke Jonin's body actually skipped across the water's surface before sinking. Sakura then turned her cold gaze towards Yukimaru. "Where is he?" Sakura asked slowly. "I don't know." "Is Sayuri-chan alright?" Yukimaru responded. Sakura and her clones came in on Yukimaru. "He left for a meeting." Sakura and her clones paused. In the distance, Sayuri's body floated to the surface motionless. "As Sayuri-chan? Alright boy, take me." "Sayuri!" Sakura was nearly blown away by the surge of chakra that came from Yukimaru. Lying on the surface of the water, Sayuri smirked to herself. Tricking Yukimaru into thinking that she was dead was wrong, but it got him to unleash the chakra of the sandbai, and that was all they needed. Sakura, however, scoffed. You think you're scary? I knew the Kyubi. Sakura said as Yukimaru blasted her away with a powerful ball of water. Sakura slid a few feet before shattering the ball of water with kunai. The purple marks now on her face. Let's go, you stupid turtle! Sakura shouted while doing hand seals. She bit her thumb and placed her palm towards the ground. Summoning jutsu, Sayuri only stared in disbelief at Sakura's summon. For once in her life, Hiramiki Sayuri, Kamuri's Black Rose, was truly terrified at the large summon. Sumuru smiled at his wife as she locked the door to his office. You do know that I'm still on duty, right? Sumuru asked. Well, you can take a break, can't you? Purred Hokuto. Or do I have to? There was a loud banging at the door which caused Hokuto to open it immediately. There stood Akane, panting a bit. Akane, what is it? Questioned Sumuru as he sensed the urgency. We need to contact Naruto. Shion has killed by Akatsuki. They're after Shiori. Akane informed. Sumuru hopped from his seat. Dragon, Eagle, Dog, the three masked ANBU appeared when summoned. Go with Hokuto to find Shiori. Akane, send a messenger hawk for Naruto, and then go after them. Akane nodded before disappearing out of the room. Doki, a large man with blue hair and small green eyes appeared. I need you to go to Suna and deliver this message. Hi, Lord Hashikage. Doki replied. The others in the room all used a standard shushin to leave, leaving Sumuru alone in his office. He fell back in his seat and closed his eyes. Shion, priestess of Demon Country, was dead. Her daughter, Shiori, was the next in line to be priestess, but she was more important to the shinobi world because she had a special chakra that could restrain Biju. Yes, Uzumaki Shiori was a real treasure to the ninja world. Yukimaru lay defeated as Sakura stared down on him, dispelling her summon in the background. The merchants and fishermen within the resting area said nothing as Sayuri. Sakura gently lifted Yukimaru up and began to carry him as if he were her child and she his mother. Take me to Kamuri. It was a simple and rather pointless demand, but Sayuri moved towards one of the boats that had a Kamuri emblem on the side. She had no clue on who the boat belonged to, but since the boat itself was marked with the hidden smoke insignia, the Kaibunkage could repay the fisherman or merchant later for its use. Getting into the boat, Sayuri grabbed the oars, only for Sakura to snatch the oars from her hands. Just point to the direction. I'll get us there faster. Sakura said. This way. Sayuri said, pointing, and with one massive stroke, the boat was already moving at high speeds. By the way, that summon. Beat my teammates, I must beat their sensei. That's all I'm saying. Sakura stated. Okay. Sayuri replied. Sakura continued to row the boat. Naruto was in Kamuri. She was one step closer into finding both of her teammates, and finishing what she started as a leaf kunoichi, beating both of those sorry bastards for leaving in the first place. Going into one of Orochimaru's bases, Sasuke found Amachi writing up a report. Ah, Sasuke-sama, Amachi said. How was your trip? Did you meet with Dosane? HN, was the Uchiha's reply. I'm going back to Otogekure. I take it that Orochimaru hasn't returned from his meeting with the Mizukage. No, but the deal is still on. You'll have your wife soon enough. Amachi stated. Sasuke nodded before walking away. Curious, Karen moved towards Amachi. Gomen, Amachi-san, Karen said, gaining the scientist's attention. Sasuke-kun is getting a wife from Kiri? What? Oh yes. Third one, I believe, answered the man. Orochimaru-sama wants Sasuke to be able to restore his clan as soon as possible. With the Uchiha clan now a part of Otogekure, we'll be unstoppable. And just how many wives can he have? Karen asked. Amachi shrugged. I don't know. I never really heard a limit to that. Oh. Thanks. Karen said cheerfully before walking away. What a strange woman, Amachi said to himself. Kiba looked at Akamaru, who had transformed into an exact replica of its owner. I don't smell her, boy. What about you? Kiba asked. Akamaru shook his head. Nope, right. We should get out of here. Kiba said. Wait a minute, said the Hyuga on the team. I found something. Takuma squatted before picking up a long piece of pink hair. She was here. So what do we do? Do we chase after her? Kiba questioned Torian. This is a difficult decision to make. Kiba and Akamaru gave identical sighs. They hated it when Shino took his time with plans when they were on teams. Now this guy was going to take even longer to answer a simple yes or no question. Chasing after her could mean walking into a trap. Then again, this may be the only lead we have on her for a while. I say, we go after her. Alright. Akamaru, get a good whiff of that hair. Kiba ordered. We'll find her and bring her back to the village before she gets herself killed. She will be killed if you bring her back to the village, stated Takuma. We'll see. Kiba said. Naruto and his company had taken a rest a few miles away from the border of wind and fire countries. While Ranmaru had wasted little time lounging against a tree and going to sleep, Guren and Naruto were still well awake. Naruto-sama. Naruto glanced at Guren as she spoke. What will you do if the Kazekage and Sakura are both within the village at the same time? Surely their last encounter will evoke past vendettas. Maybe you're right about that, Naruto answered. And how will you deal with seeing the Kazekage again? Girin asked. Naruto gave a shrug. I can't really answer that. Then again, I doubt the Gaara knows that I'm the Kaibunkage. Naruto then glanced at his former student. And if he goes on a rampage, I know just who I'm sending in first. Girin smirked. I could always wake him up if you want, Naruto-sama. Please. Naruto said. Girin placed a palm on the ground before Ranmaru sprung into the air, clutching his sore rear, a jagged pink crystal in place on where he was previously at. Naruto laughed at the sight as Ranmaru collapsed onto the ground. Let's go, Ranmaru. We have to continue to be there before Sakura gets impatient, stated the Kaibunkage. If that happens, then you'll see why I call her a pink-haired monstrosity, whatever Ranmaru said as he slowly stood up. And couldn't you just wake me up like normal people? Girin smiled. That is how I normally wake people up. Annoying old woman, muttered the teen. Naruto paused in step and looked back at the direction towards Kuma no Kuni. Something isn't right, Naruto said to himself. He then looked at the sun and saw the rainbow surrounding it. Something is definitely not right. Uzumaki Shiori was a normally happy, energetic, fun-loving child who kept her mother quite busy during the day. She adored both of her parents dearly and loved going to the Hidden Smoke village to visit her father and Mei, who she deemed as her grandmother. But if one were to see her now, they would never know that. The few splatters of blood that remained on her stoic face were probably the only color on her skin. Her platinum blonde hair sprayed across her back and her normally glistening dark purple eyes were nearly void of any life. Lady Shiori, her personal guard, Jacken, stated. We will be okay. The Hashikage will be here soon to take you to your father. The little girl nodded slowly, her eyes on the ground. Jacken, a former smoke mean that Naruto had placed with Cheyenne once she found out she was pregnant 4 years ago, had grown quite attached to Shiori. Their relationship could even rival that of Girin and Yukimaru's. Seeing Shiori in this shape nearly killed Jacken, and he wanted nothing more than to see her smile again. Then again, after witnessing the death of her mother at such a young age, Jacken understood completely what Shiori was going through. Lady Shiori, it might be best if you ate something, Jacken said, extending a sandwich to the girl. Please, Lady Shiori, eat and then we will continue to find your dad. Shiori hesitantly took the sandwich and brought it to her trembling lips. She took a small bite of the sandwich, causing Jacken to sigh once more. Whenever Shiori did not eat, it meant something was wrong. She loved to eat to restore her energy before running off again, especially. A light bulb popped in his head before he went into the carriage. He came back with a small scroll and a smile on his face. Your father made me carry this scroll. Inside, he sealed every flavor of ramen known to him, including all of your favorites, Jacken said with a smile. Shiori looked up at Jacken's smile before turning away, taking another small bite out of her sandwich. Jacken's smile slowly dropped. It was a long shot, but he had to try something. Jacken, one of the knights said. There is no sign or Deidara or Sasori. We should be safe for the moment. Right, replied Jacken. Has a team entered the palace yet? No word yet. And when they do, I'll send an order to find Shiori's special kunai. We want the Kaibunkage to come here as soon as possible, the man said. Hi, Jacken said, and the knight went to resume his post. Jacken looked down at Shiori, hating what he had to do. Shiori-chan, your special knife that your dad gave you, where did you hide it? Shiori said nothing as her eyes began to water. Jacken's face saddened before he opened his arms and the girl instinctively embraced him, crying openly. I want my daddy, she cried. I know you do, Shiori-chan, comforted the man. But we need the special knife or else it's going to take him forever to get here. I miss my mommy, the girl continued. Jacken said nothing. There was nothing to say about that. Cheyenne was dead. No ninjutsu in the world could bring her back. Well, except for the forbidden one that the Night-Aim Hokage had made, but Naruto would never agree to that. No matter how happy it would make Shiori. I know, Shiori-chan, Jacken said. We'll be in Kamuri soon. He left out the word hopefully for the sake of the moment. Then another thought popped into his mind. Naruto was not going to be pleased about the news. Naruto paused in his step again, looking over his shoulder. Something wrong, Kaibunkage-sama? Girin asked. Naruto's eyes stared off into the distance. His facial features settled into an expression that Ranmaru had seen time and time again. His sensei was worried about something. Naruto-sensei, is there something wrong? Questioned the former student of Naruto. I don't know. Something just feels off, Naruto stated before taking a hesitant step back towards the land of bears. Naruto gripped the necklace Tsunade had given him before his departure from the Hidden Leaf. You two go ahead. I'm going to go and find out what it is. We can't just leave you out here, Naruto-sensei. People will get angry at us, Ranmaru said before sighing. I guess I'll never get that nap. Girin glared at Ranmaru. There could be something going on and all you're worried about is a nap. Sort of, responded the teen. A hawk circled above Naruto before landing on the ground in front of him. One of Akane's summons, Naruto said. What's the message? Naruto-san, the priestess of Demon Country has been murdered. The hawk began to relay the message. Your daughter is on her way to Hashigakure no Sato. I do not know whether or not the ones responsible are chasing Lady Shiori or not. I am sorry, Naruto-san. Ranmaru, Guren, go directly back to Hoshi and wait for me there. Naruto said. Where are you going? Ranmaru asked before Naruto vanished in a thin line of smoke. Guren made 2 hand seals before a large pink dragon rose beneath her. Crystal release. Tearing crystal falling dragon. Let's go, Ranmaru. Guren instructed. Ranmaru hopped onto the dragon before the duo began heading back towards the village hidden among stars. A large clay bird flew over the area quietly carrying 2 men on it. I don't see them, stated the blonde. Maybe the brat actually died in the explosion, No. She survived. The second man, who was fully clothed in a black robe and a large conical straw hat, stated. The man with her got her out in time. Wait, I got something, yeah? The blonde said. 5 of them, moving in fast. A smirk came on the blonde's face. Time to show them my art, yeah, you're right to a degree, stated Deidara's partner. But we should hurry. The longer we take, the further she could have gone. Right, Master Sasori. Deidara responded. Sakura gave a breath of relief, resting her sore arms. Rowing a boat at full strength from what was considered the midway point between Kiri and Kamuri was tiresome, but she was close. She, along with Yukimaru and Sayuri, were now in the port at Yuzushio no Sato, the tourist and commerce village of the Land of Ash. Sayuri nodded at the man at a local stand before going back to Sakura and Yukimaru. The Kaibunkage has not been through here yet. We're too early, Sayuri said. Sakura's eyes showed Sayuri that those were the wrong words to say. But we're going to go ahead and go to Kamuri where you'll meet old Lady May. From there, you're out of my hands, Sakura smiled. You're annoying, did you know that? Bite me, responded the smoke jonin. While she knew that Sakura could probably kill her on the spot, she would never let anyone get the last word. Not May, not Naruto, and definitely not Sakura. Let's go. It's quite the journey. Sakura raised an eyebrow before Yukimaru quietly followed Sayuri into the village. Seeing no other choice, Sakura began to follow the 2 younger shinobi. Sooner or later she would be halfway done with her self-giving mission. Naruto looked around. His eyes were slowly morphing into that of the cursed fox's eyes. He was trying his best to keep his anger in control, but that was easier said than done. Here he was, in his daughter's bedroom, staring at 4 down guards, blood-splattered walls, and a bed that had been blown into 2 pieces. A hand rubbed the burnt sheets of his daughter's bed. He closed his eyes, hot tears threatening to spill. That is, until a clone in a separate room dispelled, sending him some good information. Shiori had escaped with Jacken. Naruto then sighed. She was still being protected by Jacken, a man who Naruto trusted more than most of his ANBU. He figured his daughter and or Jacken must have forgotten to take the special kunai he had given Shiori in their haste to leave. Hey boss, stated another clone. Naruto turned to see his clone holding Cheyenne's body. I figured we'd take her back to Kamuri to have a proper burial. Hi, the young Kaibunkage said. There was a message, the clone continued. Akatsuki has learned of Shiori's special abilities, but they do not know whether or not she is your daughter. Joining up with Gaara has now become more of a necessity than a want. Naruto nodded before moving towards Shiori's closet. He had given his daughter a handful of useful things that she thought were just cool trinkets. He searched until he found what he was looking for, a glass ball. Concentrating like he once saw the 3rd Hokage do, Naruto closed his eyes and muttered one thing. Shiori. The ball in his hands began to glow, and showed the little girl sleeping against Jacken, who was wide awake looking around. Aku! Naruto called. A man with long brown hair and golden eyes appeared at the door wearing white robes. I'm going to take Cheyenne's body with me. I need you to tell the Demon Country Council that our alliance is still intact. I don't blame any of you for her death. Aku bowed. Thank you, Uzumaki-sama. Shiori will stay with me for now, Naruto said. Aku knew better than to argue with the irate father, even if it was custom for the priestess to be taught in Oni no Kuni. I understand, Uzumaki-sama. She is your daughter first and a priestess second. Aku said. Right. Naruto said before he and his clone carrying Cheyenne disappeared with a smoke shushin. Aku raised his head before a hand came onto his shoulder. Leader-sama wants a talk with us. A mysterious man said from behind Aku. Our next mission is to capture and seal the Ichibi. Sasori and Deidara can handle Shiori. Right. Aku responded. Hokuto looked over her shoulder. Akane, how far is he? Hokuto asked. Akane's eyes now were golden with 4 black hooks around her pupil. This was known as the Katsugen, 400 yards and decreasing. Akane replied. All right then, stated the Hashikage's wife as she built her chakra up. Akane watched as 4 chakra wings sprouted. Keep an eye on Sasori. Hi, Lady Hokuto. Akane stated before Hokuto took off for Deidara. Deidara mused at the sight. So she can fly? This just became interesting, yeah. Akane kept focus on Deidara and Hokuto's fight until she saw something moving towards her at high speeds. She ducked beneath the sharp extendable tail of Sasori's Hiriko puppet. We can't seem to break that thing. The Eagle Master NB said. I don't really see a weak spot on it, replied the redhead. We're just going to have to make one. Hi. The NBU said. Akane and the eagle-masked Anbu took off for Sasori, who was sheltered in his Hiriko puppet. While the two ran, Akane thought about her true purpose on being out here. There was no sign of Shiori or her caravan, but Akane had a faint hold of the girl's chakra signature. For the time, Shiori was still alive. Shikamaru stifled a yawn. As I was saying, continued Aburaim Shibi, the Akatsuki will soon become a threat to all of us, not just villages with Jinchuriki. It is safe to say that we should have taken the Kazekage's offer. Danzo gave a small nod. I see. Danzo's visible eye then turned to Shikamaru. And what about you, Nara? Surely you have a plan about what we should do. Shikamaru would never forgive his dad for naming him head of the clan just so Shikamaru could attend these meetings while Shikaka stayed at home and rested. Honestly, I don't really care about them. This caused the others at the table, Sanzusuma, to frown in curiosity. They're going around collecting biju. Konoha no longer houses a biju. Besides, after we rejected the Kazekage twice, I doubt he would be willing to take our helping hand anyway. Inazukatsu growled. What kind of shinobi are you? There are men running around collecting the strongest bodies of chakra and all you can think of is sitting around and staying out of their way, Shikamaru sighed. Actually, I did try to help out, 10 years ago. Of course, I wasn't head of my clan yet, so my words meant nothing. Shikamaru's eyes then became cold and calculating. But I did vote against Naruto's punishment. If you and the others would have listened, then he might have stayed and we could have had a legit reason in fighting Akatsuki. This is about some Jinchuriki? Yuditane Kohara said. Had we not restricted Naruto's movements, who knows what could have happened? Akatsuki would have found out where he is and came for him. The village would have been attacked like Suna or even worse, and we would have fought them off. It's the common life of a shinobi. Shikamaru said. Your friendliness with the container is clouding your judgment. What we did was for the best of the village. Mitokado Hamura said. You're right. Losing the Kyubi no Kitsune was the best thing for the village. Responded a sarcastic Shikamaru. We really don't need the strongest of the biju on our side. Danzo raised a hand, stopping the argument from going on any further. You hold a strong point, Nara Shikamaru, Danzo stated. However, what is done. No need in worrying over a traitor, Jinchuriki or not. Shikamaru gave a small sigh. As it stands, I am not a big supporter of alliances. I only look out for the best of my village. And what do you suggest, Lord Hokage? Yamanaka Inoichi asked with a small hint of disdain. It was no secret that the Yamanaka, Akimichi, and Nara clans were not Danzo's biggest supporters in the village. We will renew our alliance with Sunagakure. But only until this Akatsuki is taken down. Danzo said. We will use our resources from Nami no Kuni to aid us. You mean sacrificing their men for our war? Inoichi questioned. If that's what you want to call it, then yes. Responded the Hokage. They are still dead with us. The third is dead. Danzo finished before Inoichi could argue any more. And I am now Hokage. We will do it that way. Inoichi only nodded. Now, I will send a team to Wave to let them know of our deal. Shikamaru only glanced at the others around him. While a handful of them actually agreed with Danzo's ruling, the rest clearly expressed differently. Troublesome, the Nara muttered beneath his breath so that no one else would hear. Hokuto panted as she looked around. She had dodged a handful of Daidara's exploding clay that he had shaped into a variety of birds and insects. She had used the mysterious peacock method, beast twice to shield her from the explosions, and now her chakra was beginning to thin. She did not have the reserves her husband did. The sound of metal slapping skin caught her attention, and she watched Akane tumble on the ground after being slapped away by Sasori's tail. 2 of the 3 ANBU members were now dead, and the last one, the dragon-masked ANBU, was currently aiding Akane to her feet. We should have waited, Hokuto said to herself. The dragon-masked ANBU ran through 4 seals before inhaling. He fired a fireball into the air which branched off into smaller fireballs, raining down on Sasori. Fire release, Hell's Rain Jutsu. Hokuto watched as the attack landed on the puppet user, the area around him becoming engulfed in flames. He's still alive, Akane said to the ANBU before the tail shot from the flames towards the 2. Akane and the ANBU dodged the tail and charged towards the flames, Akane doing hand seals. Harpie transformation. In a puff of smoke, Akane had gone through a quick transformation. She now sprouted 2 green wings from her back, her arms covered by green fur up to her elbows. Her nails and canine teeth had grown longer as well as her red hair. Akane knew that even in her transformed state, she would not be able to defeat Sasori. But her main job was to get the Kaibunkage's daughter to safety. And she would, even at the expense of her own life. Sasori swung his tail for the redhead through the flames, only for Akane to skillfully dodge it with a twirl. The star Nin flew into the air, drawing attention to her. She spotted Sasori turn towards her before firing several of Saban needles from the mouth of Hiriko. To counter it, Akane inhaled before exhaling a loud, supersonic screech that knocked the Saban away. Hyper howl. Explosions caused Akane to focus on the fight to her right. Hokuto rolled on the ground before standing up slowly. She was breathing heavy and her hair was free of the ponytail style she had it in earlier. Obviously, dodging Daidara's explosions was some kind of disrespect to the former IWA Nin, and it only further irritated him. Hokuto smiled slightly. If she lived this, she would beat the hell out of her husband for putting her in this position in the first place. Now it's time for some real art, Deidara shouted from above. Hokuto's eyes caught something coming for the blonde. It appeared to be a kunai falling from the sky behind Deidara. Hokuto's eyes widened once Naruto appeared above Deidara. Raisin Gan! Deidara was able to move at the last moment, but it was at the expense of his left shoulder and arm. Shit! Deidara cursed as Naruto descended towards the ground. That brat just ripped my arm off. Hokuto watched the ground beneath Naruto crater as he stood up. She stared into the eyes of the sage before he glanced over his shoulder at Deidara, who was holding his left arm in place with his right. Are you alright? Naruto asked Hokuto. A little tired and a few burns, but I'm alright. Hokuto said. Shiori was led that way, stated the blonde as he pointed. Please go find her. Hi Lord Kaibunkage. Hokuto said. This was no time for casual talk. She was on duty as was Naruto. Deidara watched Hokuto run off before turning his attention towards the angered man. You Akatsuki bastards killed the mother of my child. Naruto shouted with anger. For that, I'm going to make you pay, Naruto-sama. Watch out. Akane called before Naruto turned and grabbed Sasori's tail. Akane gasped. And no way. Naruto gave Sasori's tail a pull, yanking the puppet user towards him. Akane watched the Kaibunkage land a bone-shattering punch on Sasori, sending him flying the opposite way now. Deidara watched in awe as someone he admired was just manhandled by what appeared to be a whiskered Yandame Hokage. Sasori rose to his feet. So you're the Kaibunkage? A little young, but strong nonetheless. Naruto's eyes narrowed. Deidara, go retrieve the target. I'll catch up to you soon. Right, Master Sasori. Deidara said before the clay bird flew off. Naruto gave Akane a glance that told her to chase after Deidara, which she did. Uzumaki Naruto, began Sasori. The Kyuubi no Kitsune. I'm impressed that you've grown this strong. A sage. A Kage. Sasori watched as Naruto took off his Kage robes, revealing his black shirt and orange pants beneath them. Not wasting time, huh? I like that. A red chakra cloak outlined Naruto's body as he glared at Sasori. You murdered the mother of my daughter. That's something I will never forgive you for. Naruto said. Then again, I wouldn't expect you to know the love of parent. Enough talking. You're delaying me from my mission. Sasori said. Fine then. Naruto called as he took off for Sasori. The village hidden in smoke was by all means a large village, possibly on par with the Hidden Leaf. However, there were many differences that Sakura spotted instantly. First off were the many districts in the village which Akane referred to as rings. Second and most noticeably, were the three mountains that formed the northern barrier of the village, the center one actually being a dormant volcano. Currently, Sakura was waiting patiently as Sayuri went in to talk to the acting leader of the village. The door was closed, but Sakura could still hear bits and pieces of the briefing/argument. Finally, Sayuri came to the door. She's ready to see you, said the smoke jonin. Tread lightly. I doubt you're strong enough to take on a full-fledged Kage. Sakura did not respond as she stepped into office. Mei sat at Naruto's, leaning back in the chair. Sakura looked at the older woman carefully. She had not heard much about this Terumi Mei, next to the fact that she was from Kiri and was denied position of Mizukage for some reason. Sayuri tells me that you're here looking for Naruto, began the temp Kaibunkage. Why? I'd like to tell him that when he gets here, Sakura replied. Mei arched her visible eyebrow. Do you think that you'll be able to? You are a wanted shinobi, and the Hokage would pay high dollar if we were to return you on a silver platter. Sakura glared at Mei. It is in your best interest to tell me what you want now, or be held in a prison until Naruto returns and decides what your fate should be. Your choice. Sakura closed her eyes to maintain her calm. She knew that if she lost her cool now, it would be a while before she had another chance to confront Naruto, if ever. But she still did not want to give in to this woman so easily. Fine. Mei frowned. Fine? Sakura raised her hand. Lock me in a prison. This caused Mei to sit up. But when Naruto does come to see, I want to talk to him one-on-one. No one else. You do know that I can't change his rulings, Mei said, her eyes narrowing dangerously. If, and I do mean if, Naruto agrees to those conditions then fine. You will have a private conversation with the Kaibunkage. A small smile formed on the Pinkette's face. I'm only going to warn you of this once. The Kaibunkage I know and the Leaf Nin that you remember are two different people. Don't take him for the dead last of Konoha. Trust me. I won't. Sakura replied. Sasori was not surprised that Naruto had forced him to use his most treasured puppet, himself. In fact, Sasori was actually prepared for the moment. Whether or not he would admit, Sasori was curious as to how the so-called Kage of the hidden smoke would do. Plus, it was also a plus that Naruto was the Kyuubi container. Whether or not there was an actual order in how the Biju were to be captured did not matter at the moment. The nine-tailed fox presented itself. He would take the opportunity now. I'm surprised that you're still alive. You've been hit. Twice. Sasori said. Naruto grunted, his eyes now blue while his left hand was on his right shoulder. The hits Sasori were talking about were now direct blows, but they were enough to do the job. Naruto could feel the poison going through his veins. But he would not die. Not today at least. Naruto removed his hand and held his hands in front of him. A ball of fire formed in his left while a ball of wind formed in his right. He smashed his hands together before thrusting his right hand forward. A spiral the blended elements shooting towards Sasori into the form of a slender white dragon. Fire and wind release. White dragon flame bullet. Sasori was able to dodge the attack, but the large dragon only turned into the air and dove for Sasori. The Akatsuki member dodged a second time. This time the white flame beast dispersed, sending white flames everywhere. He caught on to Naruto sending a kunai towards him. Sasori's mind instantly knew what to do next, seeing this strategy before. A strategy used by the fourth fire shadow, of course. Sidestepping the kunai, Sasori waited for Naruto to teleport to the location of the kunai, only for the kunai to whiz by and embed into the ground. Sasori turned towards Naruto, who was now running for him. When Naruto was in punching range, he threw a blow at Sasori. The redhead arched his head back to dodge the blow, only for a slash to come across his left cheek. Sasori immediately backtracked before he glanced at Naruto's hands. Naruto held red trench knives similar to those of Asuma. More surprises, the Akatsuki member stated as he retrieved a scroll from his back. Naruto glared. No matter what you do, I'm going to kill you. Naruto ran for Sasori once more before several of explosions erupted in front of him, causing him to halt. Naruto covered himself momentarily before the smoke cleared. His eyes were now morphed into that of the mixture of Sage Mode and his Jinchuriki formation as he watched Deidara fly off with Sasori. Naruto was seconds away from going after the two before something caught his attention. Daddy? Naruto paused before turning towards his daughter. He knelt down and hugged her tightly, and her arms went around his neck just as tight. Naruto stood up before his eyes caught onto Hokuto, Akane, Ranmaru, and Girin. Deidara got away, explained the violet-haired teen. As well as all three and be dying. But the two knights and Jacken are safe. Naruto Dano, Jacken stated with a bow. I'm sorry for my incompetence. I was unable to protect Lady Cheyenne. Naruto eyed the black-haired man before sighing. It is all right. Rise. Naruto said. Jacken stood up before pushing his glasses towards his face. We'll return to Kamuri. Naruto looked at the knights. You two should return to Demon Country. I can handle it from here. The two knights gave a salute before walking away. Hokuto-chan, thank you for your help. Tell Sumuru that I'm not waiting for Gaara's response. As soon as I get Shiori-chan calmed, I'm going to Suna and I will literally kill anyone who tries to stop me from speaking to the Kazekage. Naruto-kun Hokuto paused before sighed and bowed, realizing that this was still one of those times where friendship was not going to interfere with politics. Hi, Lord Kaibunkage. Is that all? Yes, I would like you guys to be there for Cheyenne-chan's. Hokuto nodded at the pause. We will. Hokuto stated. All right. I hope you two make it back safely. Naruto said. Girin. I'm ready. Hi. Girin said before a large pink dragon rose behind her, this one nearly twice as large as the first one she had created. Naruto waited until a clone arrived, carrying Cheyenne's body. While Naruto shielded Shiori from view, the others saw the priestess's corpse. As the clone boarded the dragon, Naruto gave Hokuto one final nod before the crystal creature flew off. Let's go. Naruto said. The large dragon flew off, leaving Hokuto and Akane behind, the latter ending her transformation and dojutsu. He left his hat and robe. Akane announced as she went to retrieve Naruto's Kage hat and robe. He has extras of those, replied Hokuto. Come on. We have quite the journey back to Hoshi. Hi, Lady Hokuto. Akane said. Yamanaka Ino had dismissed her students for the day and had joined her two former teammates at their usual table at Yakiniku, a rack of ribs being cooked in between Shikamaru and Choji while Ino sat beside Shikamaru with a bored stare. Why did I have to volunteer to be a Jonin sensei? Questioned the blonde. Just what could a bunch of kids do to you, Ino-chan? Choji responded. You'd be surprised. Ino said. I see why Asuma-sensei bribed us so much. Ino glanced over at Shikamaru. Hey Shika, what's wrong with you? Shikamaru sighed. We're going to try to renew our alliance with Suna. Ino and Choji gave Shikamaru a curious glance. By we, I mean Choji and I now have a mission with Niji to go to Suna and get the Kazekage to come back to Konoha. Danzo wants the alliance done on his terms in his village. I don't trust them. The last time those sand guys were in our village was during our Chunin exams. They nearly destroyed the village. Ino said. Yeah. Had it not been for Choji paused as he glanced at Ino. For one reason or another, speaking about any of the unspeakable three caused Ino much grief. Therefore, Shikamaru and Choji did their best to steer away from the subject until now. I don't want to meet that troublesome woman again. Shikamaru stated. Ino frowned. What are you talking about, Shika? Last time you could have taken her down. There's no way that she could beat you now. Not on her own, replied the Nara. But I doubt that I could defeat the Kazekage, who is her brother. Man, this is such a drag. Ino smiled softly. You two can do it. And Shika? Shikamaru raised an eyebrow. Thanks, don't mention it. Shikamaru said. Chukin Point was the current location the three-leaf shinobi sent to find Sakura were at. While Kiba and Akamaru sniffed around, Takuma used his Byakugan to search the ground. She was here, announced the dog user. 2 others were here with her. But their scent gets distorted with a few others. Like a sick gas or something. Toryun and Takuma frowned. Either way, it's going to be hard tracking them down now. I'm getting sick just by smelling the stuff. My guess is that they continued south. Takuma said. Toryun retrieved a map that he had gained from the resting area on the small island. The land of ashes down there. Toryun said to his 2 teammates. Rumor has it that they don't like trespassers on their land. Kiba nodded before coughing heavily. Takuma glanced at Kiba, studying the coughing man with his Byakugan. Poison. Takuma said. We'll return to Konoha. Said Toryun. There is no need to pursue her any farther. The smoke shinobi will most likely kill her. Hi. Takuma said as he went to help Kiba onto his feet. Do we have anything to stop the poison? No, replied Toryun. The closest hospital is in Wave. That's where we'll go. See coughs, come on, Akamaru. Kiba said. The dog staggered behind Toryun and Takuma, just as poisoned as its master. Do you think that Sakura did go to Ash Country? Takuma asked Toryun. Toryun shrugged as the trio and dog neared a boat. It is a good guess. Responded the Aburame. Of course, knowing who she is, there has to be a reason that she would go down there. And this poison? What do you make of it? Takuma questioned. Strong. Kiba coughed. Toryun remained silent. He was not known to fail missions often, and the ones he did usually involved an outside force interfering with said mission. This was just another one of Sakura's tricks that they had fallen for. He made a resolution. He would return to Konoha and get permission to investigate within Kamuri. He just needed a new Inuzuka to do the job. Sasori watched as Kakuza stitched Deidara's arm. The 4 were in a hideout on the outskirts of Wind Country. Zetsu told us to leave. It wasn't like I ran away out of fear, Deidara responded to Sasori's earlier question. Leader-sama wants us all at the base. Sasori glanced at Haiden. You and Deidara will attempt to capture the Uchibi again while those new guys will go after the priestess's daughter. It was Kakuza that began with the explanation. The one known as Aku has the Kaibunkage trust. He can get into the village, but when he went to move the girl, her necklace burned his hands. He can't touch her as long as she wears that bell around her neck. Sasori said. It's not our problem. Said Haiden. I'd like to blow that damn prick into oblivion, yeah. Deidara said angrily. We'll deal with him later. Sasori said. For now, we'll rest for a few weeks before going after Gaara again. I'm nearly dying to kill my dear grandmother. In 3 days, Naruto had returned to the Hidden Smoke village and had given Cheyenne a proper burial. No one, sans Sayuri of course, bothered the Kaibunkage with trivial things after reading his facial expression after returning. While he was not in love with Cheyenne, he still loved her. Her death caused Naruto much grief, nearly twice than what he felt from the Sandaime Hokage's death, and Mei had instructed the Smoke Shinobi to come to her with news and information to give Naruto time to grieve. But there was one piece of information that caused the Shodai Kaibunkage to smother his grief momentarily. Haruno Sakura was in his village, in prison, so here he was, going to visit the woman locked away. He would have laughed at the irony that the goody-goody Sakura was in prison while he, the troublemaker, was the leader of the village. And while he did not laugh, he still smiled slightly. So you got my message. Sakura sat with her back towards the bars, her pink hair cascading on her back. Naruto waited a moment for her response before continuing. I thought I told you when I left that I was never going back to Konoha. I'm not giving you an offer, was the pinkhead's response. Naruto lifted an amused brow. Oh? So what are you going to do then? Sakura slowly rose to her feet before turning towards Naruto. While he wore his robe and hat, she could still tell that it was Naruto. His voice may have matured, but there was still a resemblance as well as the sapphires she remembered that always looked at her in a loving way. I'm going to beat you from here all the way to Konoha. And then you're going to become Hokage. Sakura answered. And I'm not taking no for an answer this time, nor am I taking that I'm sorry crap. Sensing a spike of chakra, the 2 guards moved in only for Naruto to politely raise his hand. Go. The 2 guards looked at one another before moving away from the 2 former teammates, knowing that the bars in between them would be useless if their desire to maim one another actually grew. You know, Sakura, I was actually planning on leaving the village earlier to relieve some stress. But if you want to be the target of my frustration, Sakura watched Naruto do a single hand seal and the cell opened. Then by all means be my guest. The 2 stood still for a moment, Sakura contemplating her next move. Realizing that it was now or never, she gave Naruto a small nod and he turned around. Then follow me, Naruto said. Sakura only hesitated for a moment before leaving the cell and following Naruto. Sakura faintly thought about attacking him now, but she sensed the guards watching them. She did not want to have to deal with them all and an enraged Naruto. Plus, she knew very little about the terrain, so escape was near futile. You should have stayed in Konoha, stated the first Smoke Shadow. This would have never happened if you did, Sakura smirked. The Uchiha impersonation gave her the response she wanted as she saw Naruto's shoulders tense briefly. They then shook with laughter as the Kaibunkage chuckled. That was good, Naruto replied. Too bad I'm going to have to beat you and send you back to Konoha for that. I'd like to see you try. Sabuka no Gaara was confused. No, this had nothing to do with politics or warfare. This was about how abnormal his assistant was acting. Matsuri, his assistant and secret girlfriend, had been running in and out of his office and speaking at an extremely fast pace. It was as if she was in a rush for some reason. His attention was then turned towards his brother and sister who stood in front of him with the same strange look that he had. It took them all a moment to realize that Matsuri actually said that the team from Konoha had arrived. Man, what's up with her today? Muttered Kankuro. Gaara gave a small shrug before the door opened to reveal Choji and Shikamaru. So, what have you two come for? Gaara asked. Shikamaru stepped forward. We came to renew our alliance with you. The three siblings all frowned at this. Our Hokage has been troubled by the Akatsuki and wants to No was Gaara's simple response. Please reconsider Lord Kazekage. Choji said. Gaara gave a stern stare. Months ago, I asked for help and I was turned down. Not just from Konoha, but from Tsuchi, Kiri, and Kumo as well. Let us, however, Choji immediately hushed as Gaara continued. I have found help against the Akatsuki and I plan to meet them soon. Maybe we can join you. Align ourselves with you and the other villages to take out Akatsuki. Choji said. The Hidden Leaf would be a good addition to your alliance. Added Shikamaru. We have resources that you once relied on, and I'm sure you're going to need them again. We have a high number of shinobi as well as a recovery center within Wave Country just in case our village is breached. Danzo must be desperate if he told his men to beg. Mocked Kankuro. We're not begging. Replied Shikamaru before addressing Gaara. We understand that you're angry about the rejection, and on behalf of Konoha, I'm apologizing for that. However, the Akatsuki is not coming after you only, but for a friend of mine and we have to stop them. And what friend would that be? Temari asked. Uzumaki Naruto. Shikamaru's answer was enough to cause the Kazekage's face to change as much as possible. Instead of the stern look that he had given them, Gaara's expression was now a mixture of concern and hate. I will talk to my council, Gaara stated. Temari, find a place for these two to stay. Temari nodded and Gaara looked at Kankuro. Retrieve the council members. Sure, Kankuro said before looking at Shikamaru. You're lucky Naruto was, Kankuro Gaara interrupted. Even if he did not raise his voice, his current tone was still distinguishable from the tone he used earlier. Go. Hi. Kankuro said before leaving the office. Temari glanced at the Leaf Shinobi. This way. Gaara watched his older sister lead the two Leaf Shinobi out of his office. He gave a quiet sigh seconds before Matsuri appeared in his doorway. Previous anger and frustration with Konoha were now gone as she made her way into the room, closing the door behind her. You've been acting strange. What is it? Gaara asked. Matsuri fidgeted a bit. Well, I'm Gaaraku Iwi. Suri-chan, just tell me. Matsuri nodded and took a deep breath. We're going to have a baby. Fortunately for him, no one would ever hear about Gaara, the Godame Kazekage, the Jinchuriki of the one-tailed Tanuki, and one of the most stoic people ever, fainting. Matsuri sure would not tell anyone due to having to reveal why he fainted. Nonetheless, Matsuri knew that she only had up to 10 minutes to wake him before the council convened and 5 minutes before Temari returned. Sighing, Matsuri realized that it was going to be a long day. The area was simply beautiful. It was a nice open field with a waterfall and pond in it. Several trees made a natural boundary between the area and the paths to Kamuri and other villages within the land of Ash. And the way the sun touched the area, it appeared to be a gift from the heavens. But Sakura saw it a bit differently. It was Naruto's personal training ground. It was the area where the two would do battle at last. And while she did want to do a bit more talking before jumping into a fight, it was about time she completed half of her mission. Taking a few steps towards the waterfall, Naruto glanced around. The last time I battled here, Naruto said. My Genin squad was promoted to Chunin. Even if they never technically defeated me, they still were able to work as a team and each one had an effective battle plan, though Sayuri-chan is still a bit edgy. Naruto looked at Sakura. But I don't think we came all the way out here to chat, did we? No, we didn't. Responded Sakura. So take off the robes and let's do this. Like I said, I'm dragging you back to Konoha and I'm going to make you Hokage. Even if I have to kill every single councilman and woman to do so. Naruto laughed. Is that what you think? That I, the Kaibunkage, would quit my job to go back to that place? And to think you were the smart one of our team. But Naruto's laughter quickly ended as he reached for his hat. It's your dream. Let's see how badly you want it. Sakura stood patiently as Naruto folded his robes and sat it on a rock, placing his hat on top of it. Before we fight, I just have one condition, Sakura stated. No multi-shadow clone jutsu. What? Naruto questioned. I said no multi-shadow clone jutsu. Everything else is okay. Sakura paused. That is, if you think you can beat me without using it. I don't think I can. I know I can. Naruto said. Then what are you waiting for? Sakura asked. Bring it forehead. Naruto taunted with a small smile. The insult seemed to have worked as Sakura came at Naruto with amazing speeds. In seconds, she was directly in front of him, throwing a kick towards his head. Naruto brought a forearm to block said kick, but truly underestimated the power behind it as he was sent sliding towards the water. Sakura came at him again, this time by jumping into the air with a fist cocked. Naruto jumped backwards to avoid the punch, and watched the ground crater beneath her fist. "Damn you Tsunade," Naruto muttered as he did a few hand seals. Naruto inhaled, forming a sphere of wind in front of him, before exhaling, launching the sphere towards Sakura. Wind release, compressed shockwave. "Shit," Sakura said, dodging the attack. However, once the sphere hit the ground, it released a small explosion of wind that pushed her back farther. "I see. He doesn't have to hit me with that move for it to hurt." Sakura then did hand seals of her own before inhaled and exhaling a large fireball towards Naruto. Fire release, Great Fireball Jutsu. With ease, Naruto dodged the attack and ran directly for Sakura. Seeing this, Sakura ended her fire-based attack in time to dodge the punch thrown by Naruto. She countered with one of her own, only for the evasive Smoke Shadow to dodge himself. This only infuriated Sakura and she continued to throw punch after punch at Naruto, who danced around her. "You're making this too easy," Naruto taunted before flipping backwards. "Come on, Sakura, show me what you've learned." A shoulder met Naruto's back and he was sent sliding across the landscape. The Sakura that he was staring at dispelled in a puff of smoke, and he turned his head angrily at the Rio Pinkette. "That new enough?" Growling, Naruto stood up and glared at his former teammate. That is, until her eyes gave an appealing glow, and the anger on her face became loving. "Oh Naruto-kun," cooed Sakura. "How about you just come over here and we settle this like grown-ups?" Naruto nodded slowly as his body began to move towards Sakura in a trance. Sakura only smiled. Naruto was never one for genjutsu, and as soon as he was in her striking range, she planted a poisonous kiss on his cheek. Not enough to kill him, but surely enough to knock him out. "Nighty-night, Naruto," Sakura said. "You know," stated the blonde's voice from behind her. "I've always wanted to know just how you do that. Now that I've found out, I've got to say, that's pretty slutty of you." Sakura turned an angry face to Naruto before looking at the one she kissed. In a puff of smoke, the downed Naruto became a rather large dead fish. "Ack," Sakura said, spitting onto the ground. "You bastard," Naruto chuckled. "Call it payback." And with that, Naruto sent Sakura flying backwards with a strong left punch. Sakura rolled onto her feet before firing several of needles at Naruto from her mouth, prepared needle shot. While dodging them, Naruto tossed a handful of kunai at Sakura. Sakura simply dodged right, moving towards the surrounding forest. "Bitch," Naruto muttered before launching another compressed shockwave in Sakura's direction. Sakura took cover behind a few trees, feeling the wind blow past her. She wanted to appear to be running so Naruto would give chase. The reason? During her training with Kurenai, she learned the differences in her fighting range and Naruto's. Sakura felt comfortable at a small distance where she could punch the ground and throw her opponent off balance, or use a genjutsu and then go in for the kill, while Naruto could stand toe-to-toe with someone. "You're pathetic." Sakura's head snapped up to see Naruto in the form of Uchiha Sasuke, sitting on a tree branch. "And here I thought you at least grew somewhere. You're still as flat as a board," Sakura huffed. While she was not as busted as her former mentor Tsunade, or Hinata, she surely was not flat-chested. And she was nowhere near what she once was. "You'll pay for that, baka," Sakura called as she charged for the tree Naruto was sitting in. The Kaibunkage raised a dark eyebrow as Sakura gripped the base of the tree before ripping it from the ground. When she tossed the tree aside, she was not surprised that Naruto had moved from his spot. She then picked up on her former teammate coming for her. Dodging and backstepping, Sakura could see the fury in Naruto's eyes as he attempted to slash her with his trench knives. Sakura doubted that this was half of Naruto's true power, but then again, she did not want to see his full strength either. Naruto threw a blow with his chakra blade, hoping to slice Sakura's neck completely. He was thoroughly surprised when the pink-haired Kunoichi fused with the tree behind her, and his attack slashing at the bark. Naruto turned around, expecting a sneak attack only to see the top half of Sakura's body coming from above him, while her lower half seemed to still be within the tree. Naruto dodged the kunai in her hand and did a few hand seals. Building a great amount of chakra within his blades, he gave a wave with his hands and created a powerful gust of wind that knocked several trees down. Wind release. Great breakthrough. After the dust settled, Naruto looked around the destroyed area for any signs of Sakura. His answer came when he heard a crack from beneath him that caused him to look downwards, just in time to see Sakura emulate the same maneuver he used on Niji at the Chunin exams. Naruto was sent flipping into the air after the powerful uppercut and landed in a tree, breaking several branches before crashing onto the ground. Naruto shook his head before realizing that his trench knives had fallen off somewhere in between the punch and his landing. "I'm not done yet," Sakura said. Naruto was surprised that the woman was that close to him that fast. She grabbed his collar and slung him back towards the waterfall. Naruto's back crashed into the rocky wall behind the waterfall and he collapsed onto his knee. "So you have grown stronger," stated the Kaibunkage. "Too bad you're still too weak." Sakura watched as Naruto stood up as if that attack did nothing. She gave a grunt before grabbing a kunai from her pocket and wrapping it with a lightning seal. "I know the one move that you can't learn," Sakura said, pumping a large amount of chakra into the seal. Naruto watched as the lightning began to cackle before the sound of chirping birds was heard. And I've learned it to take you down. Naruto was shocked beyond words. A lightning seal plus a standard kunai, and then a ton of chakra to form a Chidori, he would have never thought of that. He smirked. That gives the term lightning blade a whole new meaning. Sakura only came towards Naruto, her right hand clutching the kunai tightly. Eat this! Sakura shouted. Chidori! Naruto quickly grabbed her right wrist and twisted it, causing her to yelp and drop the kunai. I learned how to counter that years ago, Naruto said before he felt a surge of pain from his right shoulder. He looked to see another lightning-infused kunai lodged into his shoulder. So have I, replied Sakura before Naruto released her, and she moved backwards. Naruto reached up and grabbed the kunai before throwing it down. Whether that was the real deal or not did not matter to him at the moment. What did was taking Sakura down, and with right arm severely injured he would have to do it with one hand basically. With one simple mental command to a distant shadow clone, Naruto dispelled it and instantly went into Sage mode. Sakura only watched momentarily before activating the Yin Seal release. Naruto quickly charged for Sakura. Sakura braced herself as Naruto threw a punch. She dodged the physical blow, only for an unseen force knock her off of her feet. Naruto watched Sakura's body bounce and slide on the ground before coming to a stop. Once more, he ran through a series of hand seals before inhaling. Sakura stood up and saw two clones appear beside him before the trio unleashed an oil, fire, and wind attack that raced for Sakura's position. Sage Art, Gomen. Sakura began running away from the attack, hearing heated oil burn trees that were behind her. Thinking quickly, she did 3 hand seals and infused herself with the ground, earth release, underground projection fish technique. Naruto ended his attack and looked around. Once more, the pink-haired woman was nowhere in sight. He was getting slightly annoyed by that. One with such a noticeable feature such as pink hair could hide so well. It truly was annoying. Dispelling his clones and stepping onto the pond's surface, he watched the flames of the oil slowly die. His eyes narrowed as he inspected the area before dodging left, Sakura's second uppercut missing by inches. With the water splash as a diversion and Naruto off balance from the sneak attack, Sakura went in for the attack while using the chakra scalpel in order to disable her opponent. Recognizing the glow around Sakura's hands, Naruto began to dodge the attacks, careful not to be touched. He remembered his battle with Kabuto years ago all too well. Stay still so I can knock you out already, Sakura shouted. Naruto smirked. At least inner Sakura had remained the same throughout the years. Fuma Sasam was one of the few jonin who hardly ever left the village of Kamuri for missions. She had thought that she had taken the easy way out of doing courier missions, which she hated, by becoming a teacher at the academy. Of course, Naruto had to place her with the younger children. So here she was trying to get those little demons to quiet down. Again, sighing, Sasami began counting down in her head. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The sound of a distant explosion caused the orange-haired woman to pause. And just when she was going to snap on those little brats too. What's going on, Sasami-sensei? A little boy by the name of Hiramiki Hayaru asked. It's probably nothing, replied Sasami, though her gut feeling was the exact opposite. If anything were to happen, the Kaibunkage and other jonin of our village will protect us. Isn't that Shiori-chan's dad? Hayaru asked. Sasami looked at the quiet blonde girl. Yeah, it is. Shiori's eyes were focused on the window, making Sasami sweat a bit. If Shiori began to panic, her bell would activate, creating a shield that would push all that Shiori did not trust away. And at the current time, there was no one that the girl trusted. And if the worst should happen and Shiori's worry and fear turned into an offensive attack instead of defensive one, the other students would be sliced in half by one ray of pink light. Sasami then sensed 3 jonin-leveled shinobi moving past the school. Something was up, she knew it now. She was seconds away from excusing herself and stepping out to check before Mei was at the door. Lady Mei, what are you doing here? Asked Sasami. Whoa, cool. It's the strongest kunoichi in Kamuri. A girl called as she pointed at Mei. Mei smiled. What are you talking about? The strongest kunoichi is your sensei, Fuma Sasami. Sasami blushed at the compliment. There was no doubt in her or anyone else's mind that Mei could wipe the floor with any and every other kunoichi in the village and could take most of the men out as well, save for 1 or 2. Shiori-chan, would you come with me for a moment? Seeing her dubbed grandmother, the young blonde hopped out of her seat and made her way to Mei, a small smile on her face. Mei gently took Shiori's hand and looked at Sasami. We'll be back soon. I just wanted to talk to her for a moment. Sure. No problem, said Sasami with one thought. 1 brat down, 14 more to go. Naruto and Sakura were both panting lightly. Sakura's Yin Seal release was nearing its end while Naruto was out of Sage mode. Naruto stood up straight. That was close, as Sakura? Sakura would have responded, but she was too busy trying to catch her breath to use her next move. A move that was more advanced and more taxing than the Yin Seal release, the Yang Seal release. The technique had results that were akin to the Yin Seal release mixed with opening the gate of life. Are you done? Naruto asked the woman. Sakura took in a deep breath and poked her forehead, muttering the word release under her breath. Naruto watched as a fiery orange tribal seal took up Sakura's face, much like the Yin Seal release. Her skin began to turn into a pinkish red color as well. Her chakra increased at an exponential rate that caused the Kaibunkage to curse silently. He hated drawing out power from the fox, but he had to now. Sakura vanished in a quick burst of speed, causing Naruto to blink before her knee was planted in his stomach. In one swift move, Sakura spun and kicked Naruto in the face, sending him flying towards the forested area behind him. Before Naruto had time to react, an elbow was in his back before a fist sent him flying into the air. Reverse Lotus, thought the Shodai as blinding flashes of pink began to assault him at a high rate of speed, knocking several of loose kunai from his pocket. Sakura would have joked about hitting someone so hard that their kunai fell out of their pockets, but she was about to finish this battle once and for all. Reverse Lotus. Sakura shouted as she attempted to land the finishing blow on Naruto before he vanished. Wa, Rasengan! Naruto shouted from above Sakura, shoving the attack into her back. The two bodies darted towards the ground where Naruto was able to land on his feet, his opponent flat on her stomach. Naruto spun one of his special-made kunai around a finger. It's over, Sakura. Give up, stated Naruto. Naruto's eyes narrowed as Sakura began to rise to her feet. Even without the Kyuubi or Sage mode, he could tell that she was near her end. Sakura reached to her face and wiped some of the blood from her lips before doing hand seals. Seeing the seals, Naruto jumped back while doing the same thing, summoning jutsu. The two called simultaneously. Ranmura had led two other Jonin to the area where the disturbance was said to be. Using his dojutsu, he scanned the area and found his former sensei atop of Gamabunta against Sakura and her summon. It's just Naruto-sensei, Ranmura said to the other two. We should return back to our regular posts. He's fine. Are you sure? One of the other two asked. Ranmura nodded. Positive. Let's go. Hi! The others said before following Ranmura away from the area. Naruto stood with his arms crossed and his eyes closed. Naruto, do you see what she has summoned? Gamabunta questioned. Even in his prime, Jiraiya could not defeat that thing. Sakura smirked. Not afraid to fight abuse, are you, Naruto? Naruto opened his red eyes, glaring at Sakura. Don't worry about it, Boss Toad. I don't know how she even got the salamander summoning contract, but I doubt she knows how to use it very well. Naruto said. Gamabunta released smoke from his pipe. Just in case she does, the large toad revealed his tanto. I suggest you go into Sage mode now. Naruto stood quietly as he watched Sakura doing a series of hand seals. Now abuse! Sakura ordered. The large salamander shot out a powerful mist of poison before Sakura ignited the mist on fire, the purple flames coming for Naruto and Gamabunta. Fire release. Salamander flame jutsu. Gamabunta jumped high into the air. Let's give them a taste of their own medicine. Naruto said, doing hand seals. Right. Responded the boss toad before firing oil towards Sakura and Ibuse. Naruto shot out a small stream of fire that ignited the oil. Fire release. Toad oil flame bullet. Seeing the attack coming for the air, Sakura gave the command for Ibuse to dig, which the salamander did, taking its current summoner with it. Naruto and Gamabunta landed in the pond, sending a wave of water onto the shore around it. Those purple flames, Naruto said, pointing. If we get too close to those and inhale, we'll be poisoned. We have to put it out, now. Gamabunta nodded before launching a water release, gunshot towards the purple flames. The flames were extinguished in a matter of seconds, but the absence of Sakura made Naruto frown. What's taking her so long to attack? Questioned Naruto. Orochimaru was right. Gamabunta stated. Right about what? Naruto asked. When we fought Abuse many years ago, explained the toad. Orochimaru realized that it took Abuse time to regenerate the poison it stores, and when it's finished, it will rise from the ground and surprise its opponent, either by swallowing them whole or spewing the mist from its mouth. So we have to go down there and drag them up here. Naruto said. That would be foolish, Naruto. Gamabunta chastised. Naruto hopped off of Gamabunta. I've been known to be a bit foolish. Gamabunta was going to say something else to the young Kage, but he had pursued Sakura and Abuse into the small hole in the ground. Still as stubborn as ever, Hagaki? The large toad questioned with mirth. So do we all agree? Asked Gaara. There were 6 nods around the small table before Gaara signaled Temari to allow Shikamaru and Choji to enter. Naro Shikamaru, this is for your Hokage. Kankuro presented Shikamaru with a scroll. Are you going to help us? Choji asked. The answer is in that scroll. Gaara answered. Make sure that Danzo gets it. Hi. Shikamaru replied before glancing at the small council. He then looked at Choji. Alright, Choji, let's get back to the village. Right, Shikamaru. Choji responded before the two began to make their way out of the room. Nara, Choji and Shikamaru stopped at the Kazakage's voice. About what you said about Uzumaki Naruto, I hope you do find him in time. The statement made Shikamaru realize that the Sunigakure Council had rejected the offer. Still, he nodded in appreciation and left with Choji. After he was sure they were gone, Gaara rose from his seat. Where are you headed, Kazakage? Chio asked. There is something else that requires my attention. Was all Gaara said as he left. No one dared follow because of the tone he used. It clearly said follow and die, something no one was going to disobey. I wonder what it is. Kankuro said to Temari. He'll tell us later. Hopefully. Temari replied. Naruto appeared atop of Gamabunta head. Jump! Naruto said / ordered. Gamabunta launched himself into the air, seconds before Abuse had shot from the pond in an attempt to bite Gamabunta. Naruto saw Sakura take in a deep breath and did hand seals as well. The two former members of Team 7 along with their respective summons fired their fire collaboration attack at one another. Sakura and Abuse using the Salamander Flame Jutsu and Naruto and Gamabunta, the Toad Oil Flame Bullet. Naruto was surprised that Sakura still had so much chakra left over to maintain the attack, but his mind was then turned to gravity. He and Gamabunta had begun to descend back towards the ground. Thinking quickly, Naruto placed a hand on Gamabunta's head and concentrated. And to Sakura's surprise, the large toad and Naruto disappeared in a thin line of smoke. No way, Sakura said before dodging Naruto's right fist. But like before, she was still hit by the invisible force that had begun to irritate her. Abuse, recognizing its master on the ground and not the person on its head, began to kick and flail about, trying to knock Naruto off of its head. I've had about enough of you, Naruto said as two clones helped him form a gigantic Rasengan. Giant Rasengan. Kai! Sakura said quickly, dispelling Abuse before any damage could be done. Naruto's attack dug into the ground, rocks and other debris flying everywhere. Sakura shielded herself as best as she could, the wind slowly pushing her farther and farther away from Naruto. When it was finally over, she saw Naruto standing where Abuse once was, a large crater around him. The sweat on his forehead gave her the notion to do one final attack, but with Gamabunta waiting for a move, it would be easier said than done. Seeing Sakura's eyes on the large toad, Naruto gave Gamabunta a nod and the toad dispelled himself. I don't want to beat you that way, Naruto said. Sakura produced another kunai and infused it with a lightning seal. This time, the lightning took up her entire arm, the kunai becoming a beacon of white light. Naruto formed a sphere of wind in his hand, adding his elemental affinity to the already powerful Rasengan. I'm not going to lose! Sakura shouted as she ran towards Naruto at high speeds. Lightning Blade, Rasengan! Naruto shouted as he thrust the attack forwards. The two attacks met, much like they once did at the Valley of the End. Remembering that moment, and his mistake, Naruto pushed forward with the attack instead of settling with leaving a scratch on Sakura's forehead. Sakura watched as Naruto's attack began to push through until it reached the kunai. The blade began to be ripped by the attack and she was forced to let it go or let her arm go with it. But Naruto did not stop. He pushed the attack into Sakura's stomach, sending her backwards into a tree, knocking it over. Naruto stood panting. That's it. And no, Sakura replied as she began crawling towards Naruto. He stared at her angrily. I want go be back on. Sakura was interrupted by a cough of blood. My word. The Pinkette rose on shaken legs. Taking two Rasengan while using both the Yin Seal release and Yang Seal release to their maximum would be considered deadly to anyone, Sakura included. But she would will herself on until she had Naruto back in Konoha and then Sasuke. Naruto walked towards Sakura. Why won't you just stay down? Roared the Kaibunkage. Sakura raised a hand and threw a punch at Naruto. The punch landed on Naruto's face, but it did very little damage. Naruto's now blue eyes stared into Sakura's green ones, fury in the former's while determination in the latter's. Sakura landed a slap on Naruto that sounded a lot more painful than it actually was. Fight me! The Pinkette challenged before being bent over Naruto's leg after a powerful kick. Sakura, you're done, Naruto said before allowing her to fall onto the ground. Naruto was seconds away from finding his dropped kunai, chakra blades, and Kage garments before he felt something tugging at his pants leg. He looked down to see that Sakura was pulling herself up using his pants. No matter how hard you hit me, I'll always get back up, Baka, Sakura stated as she pulled herself up to her head was on his chest. You'll have to kill me to stop me from living my dream. And what is that dream, Sakura? Naruto asked. You as the rightful Hokage. Sakura paused. Sasuke as ANBU captain. Sakura coughed up more blood. And I won't be considered deadweight, not by you and not by Sasuke. Naruto created a 5-element seal on his right hand and placed it on Sakura's forehead. Sakura felt her body grow numb before falling backwards, only for Naruto to catch her. Before she was completely unconscious, she swore she saw the smiling orange jumpsuit wearing Naruto in front of her instead of the hardened glare of the Kaibunkage. Naruto created 2 clones, his maximum at the moment, to gather the kunai and clothes in the area. He then lifted Sakura up and vanished. Sumeru nodded and the demon country knight left his office, leaving Sumeru and Hokuto alone. Something is wrong, announced the Hashikage to his wife. Hokuto frowned. What is it? Naruto's seals had been taken off prior the attack, Sumeru said. Something only someone already inside of the palace can do. Do you think it was one of the knights? Hokuto asked. Sumeru shrugged. I don't know, but as soon as I return from meeting up with Naruto and the Kazekage, I'll send a team to investigate it. Something just doesn't add up. Right, Hokuto said. Naruto opened his eyes to a familiar wide grin, one he had not seen since Shien's death a little less than 2 weeks ago. Morning, Daddy. Shiori chirped as she sat on his bedside. Bachan said that the Kazekage is going to be here real soon. Well, I guess I should get ready. Naruto replied with a smile. Can I come? Shiori asked. Naruto was preparing himself to tell his daughter no until he saw the pout on her face. Pretty please? Naruto sighed. Sure. But sure. Yada. the little girl said as she jumped off of Naruto's bed. Hurry up, Daddy. We have a meeting. Before Naruto could say anything, the girl had scurried out of the room, her long platinum blonde hair following her. Naruto could not stop himself from smiling before he looked out of his window to see a clear sky. Today might be a good day. The Kaibunkage muttered before getting out of his bed. The nurse walked into the room to see that her patient was missing. Before she had time to turn around and announce this to the head of the hospital, an arm wrapped around her neck. Where am I? Sakura growled. At the hospital in Kamuri. The other woman managed to get out. How long have I been here? Sakura questioned. A few days. Your chakra flow has been disrupted, the nurse informed. Sakura released her captive, who believed that that was it. A needle into the back of her neck made the nurse curse the idea of saving the Pinkette's life. Sakura carried the nurse towards the bed and lied her down, retrieving the needle from the woman's neck. I don't know why I'm still here, stated Sakura. But I'm about to find out. With that, Sakura vanished in a swirl of pink petals. Gaara stopped at the village gates in his Kage robes and hat, his siblings at his sides as normal. So this is the village hidden in smoke, huh? Kankuro said. Doesn't look that special. Just big. We're not here on a social visit, Kankuro. Temari reminded. Yeah? Still, it can't hurt to look around. Kankuro said. Temari was seconds away from chastising her younger brother before two smoke jonin appeared in front of them. The two were known as the Fuma twins, Mio and Neo. Both twins had black hair, Mio's being the longer as his spiky hair came down his back in a ponytail, while Neo's hair was too short to put in the style. Neo wore bandages across his nose, similar to Kotestu. Both were dressed in standard gray and black smoke jonin outfits, Neo the only one sporting the flak jacket. Lord Kazekage, the Kaibunkage has been waiting for you, Neo said with a bow. Yeah. We thought the Hashikage was going to beat you here, Neo added with a smile. You baka! Show the Kazekage some respect. He's traveled a long way. Neo snapped. Neo glared at his twin. I know that. Ahem. The sound of Mei's voice caused the two twins to stop their bickering and stand up straight. Mei gave them a chilling glare before looking at Gaara. This way, Lord Kazekage. Thank you. Gaara replied as he followed the woman within the gates. See what you did? Now she's going to kill us, Neo said. Neo sighed. Shut up, Neo. Using her version of Chidori would not only give off light and sound, but chakra as well. She had done well to sneak into the Kaibunkage's office. But now it was time to strike while he was calm and not expecting it. Turning the chair around and preparing to stab the thing within the garments, Sakura froze. Hi! Shiori said as she was nearly swallowed in the Kaibunkage robes. Sakura frowned. Is this one of your henges, Naruto? Shiori blinked before shaking her head. Nope. My name's Uzumaki Shiori. What's yours, Uzumaki? Sakura repeated. You're Naruto's daughter? Shiori nodded with a wide grin. Sakura took a small step backwards. He has a daughter? You should be careful, Sakura. Naruto's voice came from the doorway. When she's frightened, she becomes quite dangerous. Sakura glared at her former teammate. What the hell did you do to my chakra? Sakura shouted. Language, replied Naruto in a stern voice. Lango. Right, stated Sakura as she glanced to Shiori before looking back at Naruto. My chakra. What's wrong with it? I can't use jutsu properly. Oh, that? Just a little something Orobaka used on me years back. I can take it off if you'd like. Sakura felt uncomfortable at the pause. But you'd have to leave the village, permanently. I will get you back to Konoha, one way or another, Sakura said. Shiori-chan. Shiori instantly looked at her father. What have I told you about when a stranger comes up to you? But I knew she was coming, replied the blonde girl. It was in a dream, hummed the Kaibunkage. He knew that this dream of Shiori was actually a precognition. He also theorized that in this premonition Sakura must have not done anything to harm Shiori or else Shiori would have acted differently. Lord Kaibunkage. Haruno Sakura has. She's right here. Naruto interrupted the nurse behind him. Return to the hospital. I will make sure Haruno-san is okay. Hi. The woman behind him said before leaving. Shiori-chan, the meeting is going to start soon. Why don't you go take our seat? Naruto suggested. Hi, Daddy Kaibunkage. Saluted Shiori with a sleeve-covered hand. Despite the fact that both adults in the room were currently waiting for the opportune moment to attack one another, they both smiled at Shiori's antics as the girl mummified in the Kaibunkage's robes and hat walked out of the room, the bottom of the robe dragging on the floor behind her. I'm going to have to wash them again, Naruto muttered to himself before turning his full attention to Sakura. Last time, I hardly tapped into the fox's chakra. Sakura realized that Naruto was telling the truth. She had seen him in his four-tailed mode during a spar he had against Kakashi and Jiraiya. Till this day, that power still frightened her beyond speechless. So she settled with a softer approach, talking. Why won't you return to Konoha? Asked the Pinkette. The blonde motioned his head to the window. Sakura, not fully trusting Naruto, slowly turned around before glancing out of the window. At first, all she saw was the village. In fact, that's all there was to see. Kamurogeku no Sato. All I ever wanted is here, Naruto said. Even if my old friends are in Konoha, I can't leave my home unprotected. I've already made one mistake like that. I won't do it again. Sakura did not reply, her eyes scanning the marvel that was the hidden smoke village. While she still wanted Naruto to take Danzo's spot as Hokage, she would never destroy an entire village for the sake of one person. Even if Ibius and her combined could probably take half the village down before Naruto stepped in. Sakura turned to see that Naruto had left the room, possibly going to the meeting he was talking about earlier. She thought about disrupting the meeting, but decided against it since her chakra was still going haywire. So instead, she turned back out to stare at the village. Gaara gave Sumeru, who had recently made his way into the room, a small nod. Sumeru returned with a bow of the head as well before taking off his Hashikage hat and sitting at the small round table, leaving one chair left. This Kaibunkage sure knows how to test someone's patience. Kankuro muttered towards Temari, who jabbed him with her elbow. Gaara studied the two escorts with the Hashikage. The woman wore gold-trimmed white robes with a golden hawk on the back. She had long red hair tied in a ponytail, allowing two bangs to come over her forehead protector and frame her face. She had bright green eyes that scanned the area carefully. Her left arm was wrapped in bandages. She stood next to a larger-built man. The man had short, light blue hair with small green eyes. He wore a black, no-sleeve, t-shirt and black and white camouflage pants. He carried a battle axe strapped to his back. The man crossed his arms, revealing the tiger stripe patterns that covered from his shoulders to his wrists. Gaara knew this man as the messenger from Hoshi Doki. The door opened again to reveal a very small body drowned in robes and smothered in a large hat. Gaara's jaw almost dropped as he watched this small person crawl into the only empty seat left. He kept his composure and glanced at the Hoshi Nin. While the red-haired woman found this highly amusing, the Hashikage seemed a bit confused. "Shiori-chan, where's your dad?" spoke Sumeru. Shiori took the too large hat off of her head, revealing her wide grin. "He's coming. He's talking to." Shiori paused and tapped her chin in thought. "Ah man. What was her name again? A woman?" Sumeru said. He remembered Naruto saying that he was going to talk to Sakura when he was in the Hidden Star Village. "Did she have pink hair?" "Yeah," Shiori said while nodding. Gaara frowned. There were not many people he knew with pink hair. In fact, only one of them stuck out in his mind, Haruno Sakura. If this mysterious Kaibunkage was talking to Sakura, then something was wrong with this village, and he should have taken Danzo's helping hand. "I'm sorry about that." The two parties in the room and Shiori all turned to see Naruto walking into the room. "I was talking to an old associate of mine." Naruto lifted Shiori into the air before sitting down and putting her in his lap. "Welcome to Kamurigakure, Lord Kazekage." Gaara said nothing for a moment. Here was the only reason Gaara was going to sign an alliance with Danzo. The fact that Gaara did not only made Gaara more relieved, glad to see someone grew taller. Mocked Kankuro. "Still wearing makeup, I see. You're giving my daughter the wrong idea on men." Naruto responded with a grin. "Are you sure that it's safe to have Shiori here?" Sumeru said to Naruto. "We will be dealing with matters of The last thing we need is for her to attack Gaara." Gaara frowned. "Me? Tell me, Gaara," said Naruto. "What makes Shikaku ticked? I mean, what is the only way for him to break free?" Gaara had no clue on what Naruto was getting at, but he decided to answer the question. "Blood." Naruto produced a kunai and held his palm towards Gaara. "What are you doing?" Naruto cut his palm with the kunai, making sure the bloody palm was directly in front of Gaara's face. Gaara immediately closed his eyes, but the sight was pretty much in his head. He heard and felt Shikaku breaking free. "What the hell are you thinking?" Kankuro shouted as he prepared to calm his brother or attempt to beat him. "Watch," Naruto said calmly. Shiori's eyes had yet to leave Gaara, and before long, her purple eyes became two pools of white light. While this was going on, Naruto began to bandage his hand. Sand shot from Gaara's gourd, but it instantly fell to the ground lifelessly. "What is she doing?" Temari asked. Gaara took in a deep breath before moving away from Shiori, stumbling back into his siblings. He began panting heavily as Shiori's eyes became normal. Naruto looked down at his daughter, who slowly drifted off to sleep. "You did well, Shiori-chan," Naruto said quietly as he stood up, lifting his daughter as well. "I'll be right back." Naruto vanished from his spot. Sumeru glanced at Gaara, who was slowly catching his breath. Sumeru was seconds away from asking Gaara if he was alright before Naruto reappeared in the room. "Shiori-chan is sleeping, thankfully. We can talk now." "That power," Gaara stated as Naruto sat back down in his previous seat. "She was in my head. Chains were around Shikaku." Naruto nodded. "I know." Naruto revealed the necklace he received from Tsunade. "Somehow, as long as I wear this thing when I'm sparring around Shiori-chan, she doesn't do the same to me and the fox. Of course, it could be because this stops me from losing control, but it's just a theory." Gaara took a deep breath before regaining his normal stoic composure and sitting down. Chojuro and Ranmaru entered the room and stood behind Naruto. "You two are late," stated the Kaibunkage. "We received a message from the Hidden Leaf," Chojuro replied. "The Kurama clan. It can wait," Naruto said before eyeing the Kazekage and then Hashikage. "Now, let us begin." To say that Danzo was angered at the moment would have been the understatement of the year. That child of a Kage had turned his offer down for 2 weaker villages? But showing anger was what a weak Hokage did. Giving in to one's emotions is what a weak shinobi did. No matter how pissed he was, he would keep it from showing on his face. Instead, he would make this work out in his favor. He would get Komuri to join their alliance one way or another, bringing Hoshi and Suna with it. He would put those villages in front of Akatsuki, and then have his men take out their tired foes and then Suna for rejecting his offer in the first place. Only to make a statement, of course. You wanted something, Lord Hokage? Questioned the masked jonin known as Hitaki Kakashi. Yes, Danzo answered. I need you to form a four-man team and go to Kaiban no Kuni to meet up with this self-proclaimed Kaibunkage. Kaibunkage? It's merely just a title. Danzo said. Kakashi nodded. Hi. I will leave as soon as possible. Hitaki, Danzo stopped Kakashi before he could leave the room. Kamurigakyu no Sato is also the village Haruno Sakura is speculated to be. If she is there, bring her back alive. I want all the information out of her before she is executed. Yes, Lord Hokage. Kakashi said, leaving the room. Danzo closed his visible eye and leaned back in his chair. For Sakura to defeat Sai a year ago meant she had grown in strength. While Danzo was angry at Sai for his loss, he was pleased that the overall mission was a success. He had destroyed one of her hideouts, taking along her medical experiments with it. He did not know what they were for, but better safe than sorry. A root member appeared in front of his desk in a kneeling position. Danzo-sama, he said. We have spotted Uchiha Sasuke and his group in what we believe to be another one of Orochimaru's hidden labs. Danzo hummed in thought. Let him be. Sir, I said let him be. I will deal with the Uchiha later. Now leave. Danzo stated. Hi. The root member said before using a Shushin to leave Danzo's office. Danzo considered what Orochimaru was up to for a brief second. His main objective was to destroy Akatsuki. Only after that was done would he care about his intermittent associate. Sakura made her way to where she and Naruto had fought 9 days ago. She saw large holes in the ground that were not there when they battled. In fact, the craters looked relatively fresh. To think, Sakura nearly jumped when she heard Mei's voice. He regained the energy to put Shiori down for a nap minutes after your battle. Sakura looked at the auburn-haired beauty. You came with Anbu? Questioned the younger woman. Mei smiled. I don't need them to take you out, Sakura snorted. I took Naruto the limit. What makes you think that I couldn't do the same with you? Simple. I don't care whether you live or not, Mei said with a polite smile. Sakura frowned at the statement. Raisin Shuriken. Have you heard of it? Sakura shook her head. One of Naruto's kinjutsu. All in all, if it hits, you're dead, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Sakura's frown deepened. How do you know that? I've seen it, of course, answered the former Kirinin. Even Ranmaru could not fully see the damage done, and his dojutsu is said to see greater than that of the Byakugan and Sharingan. Sakura's eyes widened. And that's only the beginning. The beginning? Sakura asked. Mei nodded. Yes. The multiple blades damage the nervous system, which counters the problem with the Rasengan. If Naruto nips someone with the Rasengan, they can instinctively move away. If one is nipped with the Rasen Shuriken, you're paralyzed and then it expands to give the poor person the full effect. Sakura looked at the craters. Worst of all, there's not a medical ninjutsu in the world to fix the effects. If what you're saying is true, Sakura said, still looking at the craters. Then why didn't he use it on me? That's what I've been wondering. Mei said. The fact that he didn't, plus toyed with you in sage mode confuses me, especially when he had so much pent-up anger after the death of his daughter's mother. I didn't know that, Sakura said. You wouldn't have cared, stated Mei. You're so bent up on what you want that you don't see what everyone else needs. The village needs its leader. Shiori needs her father. And you need to let the past go, Sakura. Sakura looked away. You don't know what you're talking about. Forget about taking Naruto out of the village. I'll stop you myself if you continue with this foolish dream of yours. Sakura glared at Mei. You're starting to piss me off. Sakura growled. Naruto is a lost cause for you and so is Sasuke, Mei said. If you want my honest advice, I suggest you do what they did. Sakura saw Mei's demeanor change into a serious one she had seen Tsunade use during her training. Grow up. I have grown up, Sakura said. No, you haven't, stated Mei. Naruto gave up on Sasuke before he ended up like you. Sakura fought the urge to childishly roll her eyes. Just who in the hell was this woman? You're strong, I'll give you that. But your mind isn't right. I suggest you simply walk around the village and see what I'm talking about. And just what would I find? Kids playing? People talking? And be you following me? Retorted the former Leaf Nin. Have you ever asked Naruto why he truly left the village? Mei then questioned. Sakura gave Mei a confused look that caused the older woman to smile. You didn't think it was because he was being watched by Danzo's lapdogs, do you? I mean, he's the Kaibunkage. There's not a moment he breathes that at least one Anbu isn't there to record it. What are you talking about? Asked Sakura. Maybe you should. I figured you'd find her. The voice of the Kaibunkage caused the two women to turn their attention towards the blonde who was walking towards them. Of course, I also thought you might take advantage of her weakened state and kill her too, but oh well. Sakura glared at her former teammate. What the hell are you up to, Naruto? Why'd you heal me and why aren't I being shipped off to Konoha like you said? Naruto shrugged. I didn't think you had that big of a death wish. I mean, I know you're a bit deranged right now, but… Deranged? The pink-haired woman nearly hissed. Tell me, Sakura, Naruto said. We returned to Konoha. Then what? We're attacked, jailed, interrogated, and killed. As simple as that. Sakura's anger seemed to cool a bit. Or were you thinking about using your father's pull on the civilian council to help? I mean, it's a good thought if we were still kids, but Danzo knows that I won't bend for him. Not today, and not tomorrow. He'd kill me and find some way to extract the Kyuubi for his own personal gain. Well, if I let him, that is. That's why we're going to kill him as well, Sakura said. Naruto glanced at Mei, who gave him a small disappointed shake of her head. Naruto then turned around. Follow me, Sakura. I want to show you something, Naruto said. Mei saw the Kaibunkage walk away with his hands behind his back, and soon Sakura followed. The sunlight reflected something in Sakura's hand which alerted Mei. Mei went to warn Naruto, but the blonde raised his hand. There's nothing she can do to a shadow clone, Mei-chan. I'm still with Gaara and Sumeru. Sakura's eyes widened. Here was her perfect chance to subdue and abduct the Kaibunkage and return to Konoha like planned. Mei only smiled. While Naruto was still very unpredictable and at times quite thick-headed, he was appointed Kaibunkage for a reason. He was strong, determined, and dare she say, as witty as a fox. There was no way that Sakura, full-powered or not, could ever take him on, no matter what feelings he still had for the woman. Walking the streets of Kamuri, Sakura noticed that many of the people were actually surprised to see Naruto walking about, and stopped whatever it was they were doing to wave and greet him. One group of children even went as far as tagging along until their parents called them back to the playground. So, Naruto said, you still have that dream, huh? Sakura did not answer Naruto, too busy looking at the others around him. Tell me something, Sakura. Even if you did somehow get me to Konoha and we did kill Danzo, just how were you going to get Sasuke out of Orochimaru's grasp? I would die trying. Nothing more and nothing less, interrupted the blonde. There's no way that you could defeat Sasuke, let alone Sasuke and 3 others. And who's to say what would happen if Orochimaru actually got his hands on your body, dead or alive? You'd end up as his vessel or worse. Why do you care? You've given up on Konoha, remember? Sakura snapped. You're no longer a part of Konoha, now are you? Naruto replied with a grin. Sakura opened her mouth only to close it with a huff. Despite the years that had passed, she would probably always see her as the intelligent one between herself and Naruto. So being trumped like that secretly angered her more than it appeared. One of the reasons I left, Naruto said as he remembered the day, was the same reason you left. Sakura frowned at this. Danzo had given the order that Sasuke was to be killed on sight, with me being on the first team to go find him. Naruto paused. If I didn't kill him, Sakura did not like the way his voice trailed off. There was something completely wrong about this pause. She was admittedly afraid to ask what would happen if he failed, but she had to. If you didn't, then what would happen? Sakura asked. Naruto paused in his step, stopping in front of a small field where a few children were playing ninja. To make me into a loyal, emotionless soldier, Naruto said. I had to make a choice. Kill Sasuke and bring his body back, or watch you die because I didn't. What? Gasped Sakura. He was going to send you on a mission where you would be captured by rogue ninja. Only there would be some supporters of Danzo that lives outside of the village, Naruto explained. Someone in Jiraiya's spy network picked up on it. Why Sakura could not get her question worded. Her mind going through the last days Naruto was in Konoha. From what she could remember, he was constantly smiling and training, telling her that he had to get strong to bring Sasuke back. Even during and after the small missions they went on, he did these things. Smile like an idiot and tell her that he would bring Sasuke back. Naruto gave her a grin. You're alive, aren't you? You're lying, Sakura said. If what you're saying is true, Danzo would have killed the prized student of Tsunade as well as one of the few people that kept me in line? No. In fact, I don't think he was going to kill you at all, responded Naruto. Of course, at the time I did, which is why I left. If I brought Sasuke back on my own and somehow was able to change Danzo's mind, we would have had our entire team back. But, you became the Kaibunkage instead, Sakura finished. But you can fix that now. We can bring Sasuke back and… Mei is right, Sakura. We do need to grow up, Naruto said. If any of us were to step in Konoha again, we'd likely be jailed. Well, sans me of course, but that's only because of diplomatic immunity. Sakura hated to agree with him, but Naruto was right again. Danzo would not touch Naruto until he knew exactly what kind of power both the Kaibunkage and the Smoke Shinobi had, which is why I've agreed of doing one thing and one thing only. Defeating Sasuke and sending him to Konoha. Afterwards, it is out of my hand. I would have lived up to my word, and I never go back on my word. Sakura looked up at the taller blonde before her face settled into a disapproving and angered one. If you're not going to help me, she began. Then I'll do it on my own. But I will fix this. We will be back in Konoha again, and everything will be alright instead of. Naruto sighed. Fine. If you're so bent up about kidnapping an Oto Jonin and the Kaibunkage, then I'll let you try. Let me restore your chakra. What? What are you playing at? Sakura asked accusingly. I'm not going to beat reality into you, Sakura. I'll let Sasuke do that. Naruto responded. Now, do you want that seal removed or not? If you're going to find Sasuke, you might want to hurry. Sakura's expression changed from anger to pure confusion before she nodded. The fingertips on Naruto's right hand began to glow before he poked her forehead. Sakura gasped as she felt her chakra return to normal. Thank you? Sakura said. Naruto nodded before turning his back to her. The only tip I can give you is that Sasuke was last in Ishigekure. The shadow clone of the Kaibunkage said. If you want to find him, I'd start there. And what are you going to do? Questioned Sakura. I'll be waiting to mop the floor with you again. Grinned the blonde. You should go. I promise I won't have ANBU after you. Hi. Sakura said before dashing off. The clone sighed at Sakura's retreating figure. And if I can't change your mind, then hopefully seeing him will. Sasuke looked at the young woman with mild interest. Thin, long black hair, dark amber eyes. She would probably be a weak mother, but after she had conceived at least 3 of his children, she would be of no use to him any longer. Of course, he would never kill the mother of his future children unless it was an absolute necessity. He was not Itachi. Go with the others. Sasuke ordered. Hi, Sasuke-sama. The woman said before making her way through the compound to find the other wives of Uchiha Sasuke. So, what do you think, Sasuke-kun? Is she up to standards? Asked the snake Sannin as he stood beside his treasured student. HN, was the Uchiha's response. You know, Sasuke, Kabuto said. You haven't even slept with one of your 3 wives. It makes me wonder that you're either not interested in them, or not interested in women at all. Sasuke's Sharingan blazed to life at the statement, though the gray-haired medic showed no fear. It was merely an observation. I have all the time to restore my clan. But Itachi, I have to kill him first. Sasuke said. After my meeting with Dosame and Kajino, we will begin our attack on the Hidden Leaf. Orochimaru stated. I want Hibi to go in last. Sasuke gave a grunt. I know that you're anxious to see your old friends again, but patience is a virtue, Sasuke. Whatever. I'm going to go train Orochimaru. Sasuke replied. That's Lord Orochimaru. Kabuto said. Sasuke did not respond as he walked away from the two. Something's different about him. We can trust him anymore. If you're talking about his so-called secret plan in defeating me to take over Otogekure, then you're already too late. I already know. Orochimaru said with a smirk. However, the Mizukage was more than generous as he has given me my next vessel. Sasuke would just be walking into his ultimate defeat, and once that happened, I want you to preserve his body. One way or another, I will have what I want. Hi, Lord Orochimaru. Kabuto said as he pushed his glasses up with a finger. And that's why I believe it was someone from within the palace. Summer concluded. Naruto sighed, trying to keep himself calm. If someone did betray him and Shien's trust, they would surely meet a very brutal end. Naruto, I understand that you're probably going to go head in and just line them all up, but the truth of the matter is, once they know we're onto them, they'll probably attack again. You know how I don't like to wait, said the Kaibunkage. But you're right. I can't rush in no matter. Naruto paused and slammed a fist onto the table, shaking it and frightening Temari and Kankuro a bit. What have you heard from Ishii? It's true. Whatever Orochimaru is up to, he has recruited them as well. Sumeru answered. This isn't good. Akatsuki after Shiori-chan and Orochimaru running about. Naruto said. I guess my only real concern is Akatsuki. Gaara raised a brow. Real concern? I don't care about Konoha as a whole, Naruto replied. But there are certain people like Pervy Sage and Grandma Tsunade that I do care about, and will still do everything in my power to keep them alive. Besides, they'd kill me if I kept Shiori hidden from them. And just how did you have a child with the demon country's high priestess? Gaara asked. Sumeru snorted. The Baka made a promise that he would help her pass on her powers years ago, and didn't know what he was actually saying. She nearly raped him for him to go through with it. The Sand siblings all stared at Naruto in disbelief. She did not rape me as Sumeru put it, but Naruto paused. I don't think I need to go into details. And where is Sakura now? Questioned the Godame Kazekage. Naruto's eyes traveled towards the window. I don't know. Sakura was in the village of Yuzushio in Ash Country, staring at the waters in front of her. She knew that once she stepped foot out of Kaiba no Kuni, there would be no turning back. Naruto has already stated his wishes for her to leave, permanently, and there was no doubt in her mind that Sayuri and Mei hated her very existence. However, there was one thing that replayed in Sakura's mind. Uzumaki Shiori. She was her teammate's daughter, and while she was not a spitting image of him, she had a lot of his traits such as that wide smile. But who was her mother? That question alone made Sakura pause in her advance. Who was Shiori's mother? Sakura shook her head. It did not matter. Naruto had moved on. He was no longer in love with her like he was. Or at least, she thought he was in love with her. Her new perception of life told her that deception was a ninja's greatest tool, and with a smile that had masked pain for so many years, Naruto was a master of the art. I'm going to find Sasuke, Sakura said before pausing as her mind replayed a part of her and Naruto's conversation. One of the reasons. There was more than one reason that Naruto left the village. So what were they? After I get that baka to talk. And with a new thought, Sakura turned around and began to make her way back to the hidden smoke village. She would find Sasuke after she learned why Naruto truly left. Kurama Yakumo sat in her room painting to pass the time. She did not know whether or not Kamuri got her message, but she hoped they did. The contact told them of the place, and from what she heard, Yakumo liked it. Her clan would not be subjugated to tests and experiments like they were here in Konoha, nor would they be looked at as if they were demons. No, Yakumo has heard about the Kaibunkage, and how he allowed any and all renegades to come to his village. Lady Kurama, there is still no word from Kamuri, a guard said through the door. Very well. Keep me posted, was Yakumo's response. Yakumo sighed as she finished the painting she had been working on for 3 days now. It was a picture of the 4 previous Hokage. Hopefully Danzo doesn't know about this, stated the heiress of the Kurama clan. Or else we'll be wiped out just like the Uchiha. In front of Naruto stood Sayuri, Ranmaru, Gurin, Gozu and Sasami. The mission is simple, Naruto said. Get inside the Kurama compound without making a scene. And once there, what will we do? Asked Sasami. Naruto revealed 4 tags with seals on them. When you have all of them in one general area, place these seals in the 4 cardinal directions and Ranmaru must be the one to use the summoning jutsu. Naruto explained. Meanwhile, while you guys are doing that, I'll have a team ready the new Kurama compound. Hi Naruto-sensei, Ranmaru said. Sasami-chan. Sasami eyed the Kaibunkage. You're in charge on this mission. Remember, I don't want a lot of fatalities on either side. I want this done clean and smoothly. If you run into a problem that must be taken care of, then do it, but other than that, no killing. Sure, Sasami said. Alright team, let's go. The 5 left with a smoke shushin leaving the Kaibunkage. Naruto sighed as he looked at the paperwork on his desk. It had been 2 days since he had last seen or heard from Sakura, and his mind played out the several scenarios on how she and Sasuke's reunion would go. Scenario 1 was the most likely one. Sasuke would grow bored of her talk and Sakura would grow frustrated and a battle will ensue. Sasuke would probably be somewhat amazed at her summoning abuse, but he would probably kill her. Naruto may not be an expert on the Sharingan, but he knew about Amaterasu, and that was enough to kill anyone. Scenario 2 was that Sasuke took Sakura into Oto, and they stayed there. This one would most likely fit the bill for the old Sakura. Naruto doubted that the older Sakura was still a fangirl and would allow. Lord Kaibunkage, we have a small problem, Jacken said coming into the room, breaking Naruto's thoughts. Naruto frowned. What is it? While on his way here to check in on everything, Jacken began to explain. Aku was attacked by Akatsuki. He's in the hospital as we speak. Naruto rose. I'll check in on him. Make sure that Shiori is safe. Hi, Jacken said before Naruto used his father's Hiroshin to leave his office. Team Hibi began walking out of the village before they were stopped by Kabuto. Where are you going, Sasuke? Kabuto asked. That's really none of your business, Sasuke replied in a monotone voice. Get out of the way. Lord Orochimaru has instructed you to stay here while he meets up with the. Orochimaru can't stop me from leaving when I want to. I didn't join the Hidden Sound to be an aligned shinobi. I came here solely to get stronger, Sasuke responded. If Orochimaru is too busy to teach me something I don't already know, then I guess I'll have to go out and learn things on my own. Kabuto's eyes narrowed. Now move out of my way. You'd live longer if you learned some respect, Kabuto said as he stepped aside. I'm not a boy anymore. So stop treating me like, replied the Uchiha before leading his team away. Kabuto glared at the back of Sasuke. Whether or not he could kill Sasuke was a tricky question. There were certain variables that could fluctuate at any given time of the day, thus changing the outcome of the match. But Kabuto did know how he could kill Sasuke, and he would do it soon. The village known as Yuzora Town was farther inland than Kamurigakure no Sato, and was situated on a large mountain. Here is where Sakura found a lot of plants needed for the standard herbal remedies, as well as some key ingredients for more advanced medication. Currently, the pink-haired woman was in a small motel contemplating on what she should do. Naruto has a village and a daughter that needs him, she muttered to herself. And Sasuke has nothing. Nothing to gain and nothing to lose, Sakura sighed. What the hell is that other reason? Growling, Sakura hopped out of the bed and began pacing around. What could it have been? Sakura said. What could Danzo have done to make him leave? Was it something to do with that mission? Was it something about me or Sasuke? Sakura sighed and put a hand through her hair, which had grown past her shoulder blades. What could it have been? Sakura sat down on the bed slowly and thought heavily on the matter. The night Naruto left, he was acting as strange as Sasuke was when he was leaving, though different. Sakura noticed that when the two went to lunch at Ichiraku's, Naruto did not eat anything. That was the first clue right there. Whatever it was had to be something heavy if Uzumaki Naruto did not touch his ramen. But he could have skipped his favorite dish because Sakura's life was in jeopardy. Sakura growled quietly as she remembered the day more. Kakashi and Asuma were filling in for Jiraiya, who had left to do some research. There was nothing strange about this. The two continued to stay on the defense until Naruto had found a small opening, and they were forced to take him more seriously. And like any ordinary day, Naruto was beaten by the combined efforts of two elite jonin, rested a while, and was ready for another round or two. Sakura grunted and fast-forwarded to the part where Naruto left. It was almost the same way Sasuke had done it, with a different twist. Naruto had told Sakura that he had to leave while they were distracted, they being Danzo's root members that were assigned to watch Naruto. Sakura pleaded and Naruto had told her that he was sorry before she was knocked out. Just like Sasuke had done. What could it be? Sakura asked herself once more before lying back and staring at the ceiling. Why do I even care so much? Sakura momentarily thought about her new question before closing her eyes. She knew when her mind needed a rest, and now was the perfect time. Her plans would be on hiatus until she finally knew what made Naruto leave. If she could fix it, it might bring him back. It just might. Yukimura grinned as the students played in the schoolyard. He had put a safe distance between himself and Shirori to avoid any problems between the young priestess and the three-tailed turtle. Naruto had told Yukimura that Jacken would be standing close by, just in case something frightened the jubilant blonde, and Yukimura would be rendered useless if he got near her. Of course, while she played with her friends and other students, she was not thinking about anything but playing and winning. Yes, while Shirori loved to have fun, winning was an important thing to her at everything she did. She was Naruto's daughter after all. She looks to be alright. Yukimura grinned at Aku and gave him a small bow. The man was known throughout Smoke as Cheyenne's favored guardian, and Yukimura had respect for the man and his loyalties to Cheyenne and Shirori. I'm glad the event did not have lasting effects on her. It has, Yukimura said, his smile dropping. Gurenchan says that the Kaibunkage has a hard time getting her to sleep some nights. She has nightmares. Maybe a familiar face will help, Aku said, making his way towards Shirori. Yukimura watched as the injured Aku walked towards Shirori. He knew that seeing an old friend would help the girl out. That is, until her eyes lit up instantly and a pink shield knocked Aku, as well as a couple of academy students, away from Shirori. Yukimura blinked once and then again. Aku, who had been around Shirori probably as much as Jacken has, was just pushed away from the girl subconsciously. Shiori's eyes returned to normal, and she looked around confused. Obviously, she had no recollection on when she used her abilities, nor did she have control of it. Shiori-chan, it's me, Aku. Aku stated as he stood up. Aku? Aku, the girl said happily. She attempted to step towards him before her eyes lit again and she stopped. Stay away from my daughter. Why? Was all Yukimura say before the bell around Shirori fired a pink laser towards Aku. Aku dodged it and backtracked away from the seemingly possessed girl. Yukimura took a step forward, only to feel the strain on the standby. Fortunately, Naruto appeared and stood in front of Shirori, blocking her view of Aku. Shiori-chan, soothed the Kaibunkage. Calm down. Everything is alright. I'm here. Shiori's wide eyes looked up at Naruto before her eyes dimmed down and reverted back to their normal purple cells. Daddy? What's going on? Shirori asked confused. Naruto lifted Shirori up and kissed her forehead. Nothing, Shiori-chan, Naruto said. Shirori smiled brightly at her father, no clue on the destruction behind the Kaibunkage. Whoa! The Kaibunkage! How'd he do that? That was awesome! Naruto looked at the other children around him and grinned sheepishly. Hi, Naruto said. Yukimura had yet to move from his spot. Shirori had stopped Aku from coming towards her. Shirori had attacked Aku, and most importantly, Shirori sounded oddly similar to Cheyenne on that last statement. Hearing the Kaide game giving a sigh of relief, Yukimura made his way to father and daughter as the children were all amazed at how Naruto appeared from thin air. Lord Kaibunkage, Yukimura said. I don't know what's wrong, Aku said as he slowly made his way towards the duo. The look in Shiori's eyes reminded him of the final glare Cheyenne had given him weeks ago, the one that was accompanied with a serious death threat. She's never pushed me away before. Sorry, Aku, Shiori said, looking towards the ground. Naruto gave his daughter a reassuring smile. You did nothing wrong, Shiori-chan, Naruto said, his smile never dropping. He set his daughter on the ground. Now go run off with your friends. I have to get back to the office. Hi, Daddy, Shiori said, saluting Naruto and running off, her three best friends tailing her. You're supposed to be in the hospital, Aku, Naruto said. Return there and let our doctors have a good look at you. I am fine, Uzumaki-sama, responded the former guard. I'm just worried about Lady Shiori. Naruto gave a small frown. Why do you and Jacken continue this Lady Shiori business? She's not even 5 yet. It is how we refer to her and Lady Cheyenne, Aku said. Speaking of Lady Cheyenne, Naruto looked at Yukimura. Something strange just happened, Lord Kaibunkage. Huh? What happened? Naruto asked. Yukimura-sensei. You're it, a little boy said before tagging Yukimura and dashing off. Naruto grinned. It'll have to wait, Yukimura. Tell me when you're done being it. Yukimura sighed. Sure. As Yukimura went to entertain his temporary students, Aku narrowed his eyes at the younger Jinchuriki that played with the children. Something wrong, Aku? Questioned Naruto. No, Uzumaki-sama, Aku answered. Nothing at all. The 5-man team Naruto had sent off to retrieve the Kurama clan was now hidden carefully as their target looked around. Sasami sweat a bit. This was Hatake Kakashi, the famed Sharingan wielder that has copied over 1,000 jutsu. There was just one thought that ran through the Jonin's mind. Why was he in the land of ash? Kakashi looked around at the forest that surrounded the path. There were 4 of them, one which he could not locate. Alright, come on out. I know you're there, Kakashi said as he moved his hide above his left eye, revealing his Sharingan. I'm only here to speak to the Kaibunkage, Sasami sighed. In the last few weeks, there had been more visitors in search for the Kaibunkage than anything else. It was starting to become truly annoying. He's in an important meeting right now. Turn around and leave, Sasami said. I just want to talk to him, Kakashi said. Surely he can take time off to talk to me, Sasami Taishu. There are 3 other shinobi hidden there, and there, Ranmaru said quietly as he pointed to the locations. 2 females and 1 male. One of the females and the male are Hyuga. Right, Sasami replied. Listen, Hatake-san, return to the Hidden Leaf Village and tell your Hokage that we don't want to talk. Not now at least. You drive a hard bargain, but I'm going to have to pass. I need to speak to the Kaibunkage, Kakashi said. For what reason? Sasami asked. We have reason to believe that Haruno Sakura was here, Kakashi said. While I don't question the integrity of your leader, Konoha has a large price on Sakura and will do anything to bring her and her teammates in, Sasami grunted. She could not let Kakashi see Naruto, no matter what. That would make things even worse for, not only Naruto, but Kamuri as a whole. I'm sorry, but you're going to have to go, Sasami finally replied. One way or another. Well, if that's the way you feel, Kakashi said, moving a hand for his pocket. Oh no you don't, Sayuri shouted as she sprouted from the ground quickly, her dirks at the ready. Sayuri, don't, Sasami shouted. Sayuri stopped, one of her dirks barely tapping Kakashi as the man revealed an orange book before splashing into a puddle of water. Water clone, Sayuri gasped. There goes our sneak attack, murmured Ranmaru as he stared at his former teammate. Now I'm going to ask you politely, Kakashi said as he stood behind Sayuri. Take me to see the Kaibunkage, Sayuri grunted. Why the hell should I? Because I asked nicely and that would be rude, replied Kakashi. Sayuri teetered a bit after the statement, and almost face planted into the ground. She recovered and pointed at the leaf, kneeing angrily. That's the dumbest excuse I've heard in my life, the purple-haired Kunoichi shouted. What the hell is wrong with you? Ranmaru landed in front of Sayuri. Watch my back. There are 3 more with him, Ranmaru said, his eyes giving off a small glow. I can't defeat him, but I can surely keep my cool against him, Sayuri grunted. That's because you and Sensei have this natural affinity of being annoying at the worst possible times. Let them go, Sayuri and Ranmaru heard Sasami say. We're running late, and there are more lives at stake. The Kaibunkage can surely handle these 4. Since they know that you're there, there's no use in hiding. Team, reveal yourself, Kakashi said as Hyuga Niji, Hyuga Hinata, and Tenten landed on the ground behind Kakashi. I take it that the 5 of you will leave this little argument out of the report, right? We don't want to start off on the wrong foot. I am sorry, Kakashi-san, but my Byakugan has picked up at least 12 of them, Niji said. Hi. Mine too, Hinata said. Ranmaru, Sayuri, let's go, Sasami ordered. Ranmaru used a smoke shushin while a giant black rose emerged from the ground and enclosed around Sayuri, bringing her underground mayfly technique. Hatake-san, the Kaibunkage will not be pleased seeing you since you are the former sensei of both Uchiha Sasuke and Haruno Sakura, 2 people who have attacked him on 2 separate occasions. Kakashi gave a bow. Forgive my students. All 3 of them lack some social skills. All 3? Replied Sasami. Yes. Haruno Sakura knew nothing about grieving, so she could never empathize with the others. Uchiha Sasuke witnessed his brother killing his clan, so he does not trust anyone to allow them to get near him. And Uzumaki Naruto, well, no one took the time out of their life to give him the proper manners of life. Although Gyurin caught Ranmaru, who was now beside her, tensed slightly at the man speaking about his sensei. He probably understood the other 2 far greater than they did him. Sasami stood quietly only because it was true. The way Naruto had originally made Kakashi out to be was a man solely focused on one student, Sasuke, and only after the Uchiha left did he give Sakura and Naruto the time of day. However, hearing the silver-haired Jonin say this made Sasami think otherwise. He noticed them all from the start. Follow the path to the village. And if anyone asks, we never met. Kakashi nodded before he sensed the other shinobi were gone. Well, that was weird, Tenten said. We should continue on to the village, Kakashi said. I have a bad feeling about this place. Aku lied in the hospital bed, his golden eyes staring at the ceiling. He had to find a way to get rid of Yukimura before the boy could tell what happened. However, that was harder said than done. Yukimura was one of Kamuri's only 2 Jinchuriki. If he simply died or disappeared, people would wonder. A male nurse walked into the room before closing the door. Aku sat up. What is it? Aku asked. The nurse transformed into a man of 25 years old. The man had chin-length black hair that covered most of his face, however 2 small green orbs that were his eyes shone through the black curtain of hair. The man also wore a standard Akatsuki robe with black nail polish on his fingernails and a black broadsword on his back. Taking a hand, he moved his hair from his face, revealing his lips that appeared to be stitched on. "It feels strange to be back here," the new man said. "Why haven't you grabbed Shiori yet?" "There is something strange with the girl," Aku answered. "Cheyenne possessed her and stopped me from getting within arm's length of her." The other man chuckled. "This isn't funny, Gyaku. Leader-sama wants the girl to make the sealing more efficient. Plus, it is rumored that she had the power to weaken the Jubi. If I had eyebrows, I'd be raising them in amusement," Hiramiki Gyaku said. "Too bad my parents burnt them right before I killed them, no less," Aku grimaced. He was not a combatant that did messy jobs, unlike his partner who loved to butcher his prey with his blade. However, Aku could not deny Gyaku's skills. He was the only missing nin from Kamuri after all and did train a while with the Kaibunkage himself. Gyaku's skills made up for his sickening lust for blood. "Sometimes, I will get her soon. Wait for me in Yazora town. We will devise a plan there," Aku said. "Sure," Gyaku said. "But before I go, I want to see how my clan is doing." Aku was going to object before Gyaku put a hand up. I know. I won't kill anyone. This time, Gyaku's black hair fell over his face once more before he successfully transformed back into the male nurse he was previously masquerading about as, and left the room. Aku lied on his back once more and closed his eyes. If Cheyenne was going to possess Shiori, then he would become someone else as well. Sakura looked around the gardens that housed the herb she was currently looking for. She figured that work got her mind off of Naruto and Sasuke like it did when she was still in Konoha. Of course, like the past, it was hardly helping as the faceless mother of Shiori continued to cloud Sakura's head. "Ma'am, you dropped this." Sakura turned around to see a small boy holding out a peach towards her. She smiled. "Thanks." Sakura took the peach from the boy. "What's your name?" "Haru." He answered. "Well, thank you, Haru," Sakura said before frowning. "Say, Harukuin, do you know anything about Uzumaki Shiori?" The boy nodded. "Really? What?" "Her dad lets her play in the gardens while he comes to visit the nice nurse at the hospital," Haru explained. "Right. Have you ever seen her mother before?" Sakura asked. "Yeah. She's real nice. Her name's Haru." "What have I told you about running off?" an angered woman said. "Sorry, Mom," the boy said, running towards the woman. He waved at Sakura. "See you later." "Yes," Sakura said with a small smile. There was a nurse here in Yazora that Naruto was fond of that could possibly shed light on this mysterious mother issue. Now all that left was the other reasons he left, and dragging him and Sasuke back to Konoha. The two blades met with sparks flying off of them before the two opponents separated. Again, Suigetsu froze as the voice was behind him. "You fall for the simplest genjutsu," Suigetsu grunted. "It's that damn Sharingan of yours. Excuses, excuses? Why don't you admit that Sasuke-kun is just better than you, even in kenjutsu?" stated Karen. "How about you go a round or two with me?" Suigetsu threatened. "That's enough," Sasuke said. "We should continue moving. You never told us where we were going," Suigetsu said. "You'll see when we get there," was the Uchiha's response as he began to walk away. Yugo followed Sasuke, followed by Karen and eventually Suigetsu. Karen sped past Yugo to walk alongside Sasuke. "So Sasuke-kun," began the medic, "I hear that you can have almost an unlimited number of wives." Well, I was thinking." "No," interrupted the Uchiha. "Why not?" Karen whined. Sasuke stopped and glanced at Karen. "You remind me of Sakura and I hate that about you," was all Sasuke said before walking off again. "Come on. I want to get back in time to hear about the invasion plans." Yugo walked past Karen, not giving her a look at all, while Suigetsu walked by snickering. Karen just stood with a hurt and shocked face before trudging behind Suigetsu. Sasuke eyed his team behind him before turning back in front of him. Sakura was last seen in Wave Country, and she was his next target. Despite whatever she once was when they were genin, Sasuke has heard a lot about his former pink-haired teammate, and needed her expertise for when he did kill Itachi and needed to transplant his brother's eyes into his. As Orochimaru had stated it, that was the ultimate power, the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Sasuke would obtain the Mangekyo through killing Itachi and then Eternal after he took Itachi's eyes. And while Sasuke had faith in Karen's abilities, there was no denying that Sakura was beyond Karen in the medical field. Sasuke turned towards the sky as he thought about his other former teammate. There was not much to say what Naruto had done after leaving Konoha, mainly because there was not a lot of news about the blonde. But Sasuke did not worry. Naruto was alive and he was probably either training or resting to train. That was the blonde's style. He trained with the vigor of Rock Lee and grew in power exponentially. Sasuke grimaced at the thought that Naruto's Rasengan was stronger than his Chidori. However, it was true. Had Naruto actually struck Sasuke with the attack instead of scratching his forehead protector, who knows where Sasuke would be now? "Hey Sasuke." Sasuke fought the urge to at least punch Suigetsu in the face for breaking his thoughts. But seeing as the other man would just turn into water and reform unharmed, Sasuke let it go. If you don't want that new wife you got, can I have her? Sasuke sighed. Sometimes, and he did mean sometimes, he really missed his former team. Sakura watched from a tree with a perfect view of the front door of the medical center in Yozora town. A woman with long dark brown hair walked out of the building with a backpack over her shoulder. Sakura watched as the woman gave a kind farewell to whoever was at the front desk and walked down the dirt path away. I should stop by the market to pick up some eggs and milk, the woman said before a man, apparently a thief due to his ski mask, jumped out in front of her. Hand over the money, he threatened. Sakura had half the mind on going down there and beating the man before the woman gave a small giggle. You really don't want to do that, she said. Stop playing games and hand over the damn money, the man ordered. The woman sat her backpack down and stood calmly before motioning the man to come to her with her hand. The larger man ran towards the woman, whose hands were surrounded in green chakra. Sakura picked up on this instantly before the woman palmed the man's chest, sending him tumbling backwards. Moving a few strands of hair from her face to reveal a purple square on her cheek, the woman smiled. I'm sorry about that, but you left me with no choice. Please reconsider the path you've taken, she said before looking in Sakura's direction. You can come out now, so you're a medic Nin and not just some nurse. I guess I shouldn't be surprised, Sakura said before leaping from her position and landing in front of the woman. Haruno Sakura, the student of Lady Tsunade herself, stated the woman. I'm sorry. Should I know you? Sakura asked. The woman smiled. No, you shouldn't. What can I do for you? Brushing aside the question on how the woman knew that Sakura was in search for something, Sakura began her questions. I'm looking for a woman who knows the mother of Uzumaki Shiori, Sakura said. The light brown eyes of the woman saddened a bit. Is it you? What? No. I'm not Shiori-chan's mother, but I knew her. She was Cheyenne from Demon Country, the woman said. I'm sorry, but I'm in a hurry. If you want more answers, ask Naruto-kun himself. He'll tell you. With that the woman began walking away, stepping over the downed man as she did so. Wait a sec. Who are you? Sakura called. The woman paused in her step and smiled at the pinkette. My name's Rin, she said before going on about her business. Sakura frowned. Rin, the name sounded familiar. Vaguely familiar, but she had heard it before. Naruto did not mention it, and Sasuke hardly mentioned anyone, plus she was too old to be a friend of Ino's. Sakura's eyes widened. Kakashi, father and daughter, was both devouring bowl after bowl of their favorite ramen, while the owner of the bar just smiled at the two frequent customers. After 2 more bowls for Shiori and 4 for Naruto, the two sat satisfied. Think Shiori-chan, Naruto said with a smile. You've replenished your energy, so now you can go play and train some more. Right, daddy? The soon-to-be 5-year-old girl said with a smile that rivaled her father's. Naruto paid that man before leading his daughter out of the stand, Shiori riding atop of his shoulders. While she was smiling and giggling, Naruto was still pained to know that this would not last. She would eventually grow tired and she would eventually dream about her mother's death. While he knew sleep was essential for life, he tried to keep his daughter awake and happy for however long he possibly could. He hated to see her cry. Hey daddy? Shiori began. The Kaibunkage responded. Are you and Gaara friends? Shiori asked. Yeah, we are, answered Naruto. Why? Well, he seems really weird. And sad, Shiori stated. Naruto only smiled at the statement. Are you friends with the pink-haired lady? Naruto thought about his response before answering. We're not enemies. She was nice in my dream, replied the younger hyperactive blonde. Oh really? What did she do? Naruto asked. Well, Shiori said as she remembered her vision. You were gone and Maid Bachan told the pink-haired lady to watch me and she said that everything would be alright and rocked me to sleep while humming a song. Naruto frowned. Due to Naruto and Cheyenne always protecting Shiori, the young girl never knew that these dreams of hers were sometimes actually visions and thought that they were nothing worth remembering unless something great happened. Therefore, some visions that were important, such as this one, were only vaguely remembered by Shiori or completely ignored and forgotten. Plus she smells nice. Like cherries. Naruto laughed a bit. Well, her name is Sakura. Oh, she's pretty, Shiori stated. Yeah. I guess she is, Naruto said before an all-masked ANBU appeared in front of him. This had better be good. Leaf Nin are in the village, sir. Hyuga Niji, Hyuga Hinata, Tenten, and Hitaki Kakashi. Naruto sighed heavily. Somewhere down the line, this was Sasame's fault. Take them to my office. I'll be there shortly, Naruto said. The ANBU disappeared in a puff of thick smoke. Ah man, we were going to play. Shiori whined. I know. I'm sorry, Shiori, but this is important, Naruto replied. When I become Kaibunkage, I'm going to make a lunch break law. No one can do anything but eat lunch and play with their daughter, proclaimed Shiori. Naruto laughed. I'll be waiting for that. Kakashi looked around the office, taking in almost every feature he could see. The 4 ANBU escorts stood with 2 at the door behind the leaf shinobi and 1 at each of the 2 windows in the office. The door opened and 3 figures entered the office. Kakashi recognized the taller one in the middle was the Kaibunkage as he wore the gray robes and hat. On one side of the Kaibunkage stood the former Miss Nin, Terumi Mei, and on the other the former Miss Nin, Kojora. Kakashi felt uneasy with having two strong opponents accompanying the Kaibunkage, but did not show it in hopes that the meeting will go smoothly. Naruto sat at his desk with a heavy sigh before waving his ANBU away. Just get to the point. What are you doing here? Asked the annoyed Kaibunkage. We came here for two separate reasons. Kakashi answered. Reason 1, there was a rumor that Haruno Sakura was down here. You just missed her. Naruto said. And the second reason? Well, the second reason was to meet you in person. Our Hokage has interest in your village, especially seeing that you have spoken with the Kazekage, most likely about Akatsuki, Kakashi said. We were. If you're looking for an alliance, then you're in the wrong place. Naruto interjected. Komori and Konoha will keep a respectable distance from one another until you get a more trustworthy leader. Please reconsider. Akatsuki will attack all villages with a Jinchuriki and then some. We need everyone to join to protect villages with Jinchuriki such as Suna and Taki, Kakashi stated. Naruto laughed quietly. The Kazekage and I have joined together to protect our combined 3 Jinchuriki. Mei glanced at Naruto while Niji frowned at the statement. The Ichibi is the Godame Kazekage while I house the other 2. And those 2 are? Tenten asked. Tenten, you know it is forbidden to ask about another village's secrets. Niji reprimanded in a calm voice. Please forgive her, Lord Kaibunkage. No, Daddy. Shiori called as she ran into the room, tears running down her face. I had another nightmare. Forgive me, Lord Kaibunkage. I tried to do all that I can but... Jacken, it's alright. Naruto said with his daughter now in his lap. I have her now. You may take a break. Jacken nodded before leaving. Naruto then turned his attention to Shiori. Shiori-chan, it's alright. Kakashi said nothing as he watched the blonde girl snuggle into her father, as much as humanly possible. His keen eye watched the interaction between father and daughter before narrowing slightly. Chojuro, take our guests to a motel. All of them but Hataki-san. I wish to speak to him on a private matter. Stated Naruto. Chojuro nodded. Right away, Lord Kaibunkage. Chojuro then looked at Hinata, Niji, and Tenten. This way. Chojuro left the room followed by the 3-leaf shinobi. I always knew that you would surpass me one day, said Kakashi. Naruto removed his hat and gave his former sensei a small grin. I could never sneak one past you, Kakashi-sensei. Ranmaru was now leaping from branch to branch as fast as he could, trying to keep up with the pink dragon above him. If he had not stopped to eat some curry a while back, he might have been exhausted by now. Thankfully, the dish had kept him energized as it did when he was first made a genin under one of the most hardworking people he has ever known, Uzumaki Naruto. As he ran, he used his dojutsu to spot the chakra source of Gozu beneath him. The older man was moving swiftly through the ground using his hidden mole jutsu. He knew that Sayuri was beneath him as well using her mayfly technique, but it was very hard to keep track of her movements and look ahead at the same time. That technique was made to move without being spotted, and it took all of Ranmaru's focus to find her. Sasami rode on the pink crystal dragon above him with Girin. The plan was quite simple. Sayuri would be the first to arrive at the Kurama compound and would scout the area, but because he knew his former teammate, Ranmaru knew she would engage in at least 2 fights with either a Konoha guard or a Kurama member. Next, Gozu will arrive to make sure that Sayuri was not being followed. Sasami, Girin, and Ranmaru would bring up the rear with Ranmaru clearing out any and all forces on the ground on his way. They were not expecting but 4 or 5 AMBU watching over the entire clan since it was rumored that Danzo was about to wipe them out. So whatever Ranmaru could not handle alone, Sasami and the others could give him a hand. Ranmaru heard a whistle that made him stop and look above him. Girin's crystal dragon was circling above him. Using his dojutsu, he zeroed in on Girin and Sasami to read their lips. Unfortunately, he wasted his chakra as the dragon came towards the ground where Sasami hopped off onto a tree branch. We're changing the plan, Sasami told Ranmaru. Girin is going to fly ahead and I'm going to stay next to you. Ranmaru frowned. Why the change in plans? Danzo is a military man. He's probably waiting for something like this to happen and Naruto will have my head if anything should happen to you, said Sasami. You are Shiori's future sensei, after all. Ranmaru nodded at that. His sensei, Naruto, had entrusted him in teaching his daughter when she eventually became a genin. Girin, go on ahead. If you see anything suspicious, mark it with a crystal. We'll handle it, Sasami ordered. Hi, replied the former Odo shinobi before flying off on her dragon. Sasami glanced at Ranmaru. Come on. We have to continue on, Sasami said. Hi. Ranmaru responded before following Sasami. That night, Kakashi was called to the Kaibunkage tower onto the rooftop. The chilling mountain wind caused Kakashi to wish that he was back in a warmer environment. Naruto stood with Shiori standing beside him, holding his hand tightly. The Kage of your own village. I'm not really surprised, but I am proud, Kakashi said. You've grown quite a bit. I want to know how you knew it was me, stated Naruto. A year or so back, I encountered a shinobi from Ishigekure, answered Kakashi. He told me something about the history of Komori. When the fire of the burning leaves die out, all that is left is smoke and ashes. Kakashi paused. That plus he said that the Kaibunkage was blonde. I guess that answers that question. Sort of, Naruto said. Kakashi gave a sigh. And then there was the simple action I saw earlier. When you dropped everything you were doing to comfort your daughter, you are still put the lives of everyone over your own, but I guess I shouldn't be surprised. You probably spoil her, Naruto chuckled. I've been told that before. Shiori looked up at Kakashi before giving her father a questioning look. This is my former sensei, Hatake Kakashi. What's wrong with his eye? Shiori asked, using her free hand to cover an eye to imitate Kakashi's height. He has a special eye. Naruto attempted to explain. A friend gave it to him, Shiori said, dropping her hand. Kakashi grinned beneath his mask. She's a lot like you. I doubt that. Naruto said. Kakashi-sensei, what you told me earlier about how Danzo has changed Konoha, I want to tell you that I'm sorry that you guys have to put up with it. But there isn't anything I can do. I can't help you. You can't or you won't? Kakashi asked. You know why I left, Kakashi-sensei. Stated Naruto, growing angrier by the seconds. The fact that Danzo would send his route to help Sasuke escape and then forced me not to say a word to Sakura. Naruto paused and took a breath. I was banned from learning another jutsu above C rank. I was prohibited from leaving the village with just you or Jiraiya as my Jonin leader. And you followed me to the store, but did nothing to those people that still attacked me. Worst of all, the only possible way that I was going to make Jonin is if I went into route. Kakashi gave a small sigh. No. I won't go back to that village, not while he is in charge. I still don't know why he did it. I understand how angry you are with Danzo, but this is the life of a shinobi. We hold secrets to keep the civilians safe. We obey rules that contradict our own morals at times, Kakashi said. If you did tell someone, that person would have been killed on the spot for learning an S-rank secret. Whatever Danzo has planned for Sasuke will be revealed later. You shouldn't have focused on it so much, Naruto smirked. A truly professional explanation. But it's not good enough. Kakashi watched Naruto lift Shiori, who placed her head on his shoulder. I know what it's like to be a part of and left out of an S-rank secret. People throw rocks at you and call you names for something you can't understand. But if you refuse our alliance, then there is a high possibility that Konoha will soon turn its attentions to Kamuri, and we would be put in battle. Kakashi said. And once that happens, Naruto replied, I will finally get my shot at killing Danzo the right way. The Kaibunkage vanished using the Hiraishin, leaving Kakashi wondering to himself. Had this been Naruto's big plan from the start? When Naruto had confronted Kakashi about Danzo's personal ANBU aiding Sasuke's escape, Kakashi was worried that his blonde student might have done something foolish and attempted to attack the Hokage. But days before his departure, Naruto had told Kakashi that he was not going to attack the Hokage because it went against his code as a leaf shinobi. But now everything was different. Naruto was no longer a shinobi of the Konoha. Naruto no longer had to obey the Hokage. I hope you know what you're doing. Kakashi muttered as he continued to stare at the village known as Kamurigakure no Sato. Yakumo closed her eyes and counted down in her head. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who the hell are you? A guard outside her door asked at the intruder. And how'd you find our compound? Hiramiki Sayuri, at your service. The voice of Sayuri replied. Kamuri's own Black Rose and the person that just took out that lame-ass Chunin that was guarding the place. A smile graced the Kurama heiress's face. She knew the job would not be done quickly, but for some strange reason, she knew that the hidden smoke would pull through. While the village was rather unknown in Konoha, other villages such as Hoshi and Ishii knew of the village hidden in smoke, and their statements about the village were pretty accurate. Even if Ishii and Kamuri were on bad terms for whatever the reason may be. The door opened and Sayuri stood with a small smirk of victory on her face. So you're Yakumo, huh? Well, I have a message, Sayuri said. The Kaibunkage will be here soon. But before that, we need your clan to be in one secluded spot. My teammate Gozu is currently placing traps around the compound, but we need to move fast. Can't say when that Hokage of yours will send someone to check in on you guys. I will round them up at the clan's meeting hall. Yakumo said, rising to her feet. Yeah, that'll work. Sayuri said. Say, you guys are known for your genjutsu, right? Yakumo nodded. Great. I need a new sensei to teach me things for the next time I go against a certain pink-haired monster. Yakumo only smiled. I will see what I can do. Kakashi stood with his assigned team in front of the Kaibunkage's desk where Mei sat. Where is the Kaibunkage? Asked Tenten. For the moment, I am the acting Kaibunkage. Mei answered. As for what we have talked about, Hatake-san, Mei glanced at Kakashi. Kamuri and Konoha will remain out of each other's way. That is final. Hi, Lady Kaibunkage. Kakashi said. Team, we need to return to Konoha now. What about Haruno-san? Hinata asked. What we know is that Sakura is searching for her former teammate, Uchiha Sasuke. Tenten's eyes shot towards Kakashi, who still had no visible reaction. I don't know why she's looking for her or what her intentions are. But that is where she went. We'll share this information with Danzo. Thank you again, Lady Kaibunkage. Kakashi said. Mei nodded. Right. Mei looked at the ANBU by the door. See to it that they make it to Yuzushio without any trouble. Hi, Lady Kaibunkage. The two said in perfect harmony before one of them opened the door. I hope for the best for your village. Mei said as the Konoha team left the office. Mei's eyes narrowed a bit. Chojuro, yes? I need you to find Kazudin. I have a personal mission I need for him to do. Hi, Lady Mei. Chojuro answered. Sakura continued to walk down the path that led off of the mountain with a satisfied smile. She had made a hideout in Yuzora town as well as found a likely ally in Rin. Rin had given her some insight about the things that tied Naruto to the village, and while Sakura was still a bit optimistic about her dreams and her needs, a part of her mind now told her that it was impossible. Naruto was a lost cause. Sakura walked past a man who eyed her with lust. She ignored him though. Had she been Kurenai, she would have trapped the man in a genjutsu for that. Hey, Pinky, now Sakura stopped as the man addressed her by the second worst name to call her, only behind forehead. How, don't call me Pinky again. Sakura stated as she continued to walk away. She paused when she felt something cold against her neck. This blade here will get really hot if you don't change your mind fast. The man said. Sakura sighed. Who are you? The name is Hiramiki Gyaku. But for tonight, you'll be calling me Daddy. Gyaku said. Sakura smiled before her body quickly sunk into the ground before Gyaku could do anything. It's quite polite to exchange names before fighting. Sakura said, now behind Gyaku. The former Kamuri shinobi just smiled and turned towards Sakura. My name is Haruno Sakura, so you're Naruto's former teammate. Glad to finally meet you. Gyaku said. I was his only teammate when they began training us. Of course, he eventually became Kaibunkage because of his weak philosophy. Gyaku ended the henge he was using to reveal his real appearance. Sakura took notice of the Akatsuki cloak instantly. And while he became the village's first Kage, I became the village's first missing nin. Sakura glared. You're with Akatsuki or after the Kyuubi, aren't you? Gyaku gave a dark laugh. Kyuubi? You think I would attack Naruto while he's protected by hundreds of ANBU, Kazudin, Chojuro, and Mei? No, only an idiot would try to attack a sage in Jinchuriki while he has backup. Sakura growled at the statement. It was hard to tell if he was directing that statement towards her or if he was just saying it in general. If you want to know the truth, I was after another Uzumaki Shirori. What kind of sick things do you want with Naruto's daughter? Asked the former Leaf Nin. I guess I could tell you. Gyaku brushed the hair from his face so that Sakura could see his face clearly. She has the power to restrain Biju. Sakura saw the ghostly smile that crept on Gyaku's face. We'll use the little brat to capture a few Biju and then as leverage to take down Naruto Baka. Who knows, in 10 years or so, she might be of other use for us. That's disgusting. Sneered Sakura. Why would you do that to a child or Naruto? It fails in comparison to what I'm about to do to you. Gyaku said, coming for Sakura with his black broadsword posed to strike. Sakura crouched before leaping high into the air, doing hand seals. She inhaled deeply before exhaling a blast of mud towards Gyaku, earth release, mud bullet. The Akatsuki member covered himself as he was pushed by the attack. Once he was thoroughly covered in mud and she had landed at a safe distance, Sakura did more hand seals before inhaling once more and exhaling a fireball, fire release, great fireball jutsu. The second attack landed, hardening the mud until it was akin to stone. That wasn't so hard, Sakura said to herself. Sakura then saw a transparent version of Gyaku appear beside the encased man and charge at her. What? Sakura began dodging the punches that the ghostly man was throwing at her, not knowing whether or not this apparition could harm her or not. After ducking under a punch, she saw her opening and swung for the image, only for her hand to go right through it. She stumbled a bit before feeling a kick connect to her back that sent her sliding on the ground. So I can't touch this thing, Sakura said as she stood up. But it can touch me. Sakura's eyes turned towards the stone where Gyaku was. But I can still hit you. Sakura used her chakra-infused fist to shatter the earth completely, but was shocked to see that the stone was previously covering a tunnel. Realizing that Gyaku was still in the area, she quickly turned her attention towards the ghostly figure that came towards her once more. Doing hand seals quickly, Sakura's body was encased in a giant pink rose before several more blossomed from the ground, releasing pink petals, dancing Sakura petals. While the ghost Gyaku seemed to be caught in the genjutsu, Sakura attempted to spot the real Gyaku but failed. That is until she dodged a streak of red lightning, so you're pretty quick on your feet. That's good. The pinkette saw her target, and glared at him. I'll have fun ravaging your body countless of times before dismembering every joint you have. Sakura growled before she gave the ground a heavy punch that nearly shook the entire mountain. Rin felt the small quake and looked outside the window that was in her office. Rin-san. There are shinobi battling on the side of the mountain. One of her assistants told her. One of them is an Akatsuki member but the other one is Haruno Sakura. Should we contact the Kaibunkage? No. Just make sure that everyone is safe. Rin said as she got up from her desk. I'll check out what's going on. Hi. The man said before leaving. Gyaku did not care to eye the damage. He came towards Sakura with his blade once more. Sakura held a hand seal before creating 2 shadow clones before the 3 pinkettes separated. Gyaku's blade embedded in the ground where the 3 were previously standing. I got to get him away from the village. Sakura muttered to herself as she began running down the path near full speed, her clones trailing her. You're not getting away from me that fast. Gyaku called as he took chase. Sakura began to think of all the possible ways to defeat Gyaku while not disturbing the residents of Yozora town. There was a slim chance that she would make it all the way down the mountain, especially if she took the path, and that still meant going through the small outpost at the bottom where more people were at. Sakura then slid to a stop, realizing that it was no point. She would beat Gyaku down the mountain. What's this? You've stopped running? And here I thought it would be the only fun part of our fight, stated Gyaku. I won't let you hurt Naruto's daughter, Sakura said as she tightened her glove up. So you might want to turn around right now. Gyaku gave a grim smile. I can't now. You already know too much. Gyaku and Sakura took off for one another, Gyaku's apparition clone following him, while Sakura's shadow clones behind her. You're mine, Pinky. I'm going to punch you into oblivion, Shinaro. Aku stealthily moved towards Jacken, who was busy watching Shiori help with the other academy students in building the Kurama compound. Of course, Shiori and the younger children were only used to bring certain small tools to and from the other shinobi, but Shiori still looked at it as a mission. Plus, Naruto was helping and Shiori would do anything just to be near her father. They have been quite helpful, right, Jacken-san? Aku spoke in his normal respectful tone. Aku-sama. I didn't hear you coming, Jacken replied. Aku grinned. It is alright, Jacken-san. Uzumaki-sama just asked for a little help with the building of the Kurama clan's new home. Jacken nodded and turned his attention back to Shiori. Lady Shiori seems to be doing better. I only wish she'd let me closer. Again Jacken nodded, dismissing Aku's hand rising. But you on the other hand. What Jacken replied before his body went numb. Aku had used his cursed body switch which allowed him to change bodies with someone for up to a full 24 hours. Of course, the mind of the other person was trapped inside of his body which could be potentially harmful if said person were to do something and attempt suicide while in Aku's body. However, Aku knew how to stop this from happening. Placing a seal on Jacken's, who was now in Aku's body, back, Aku watched his eyes slowly close into a slumber. Aku? Stated a confused Kaibunkage as he neared the two men. Jacken, what's wrong with Aku? Yuzu Naruto Dano, I believe that Aku-sama's is still suffering from his attack. Aku stated, doing his best Jacken impersonation. I guess he should return to the hospital then. Naruto said. Jacken, do you think you can take him back? Hi Naruto Dano. The imposter said grabbing Aku's body. I will return shortly. Naruto watched as Jacken took Aku to the hospital, unaware of his daughter making her way to his side. Daddy, what's wrong with Aku? Shiori asked. Naruto smiled at her. Nothing at all. He'll be up before you know it. Naruto then gave Shiori his Kaibunkage look, causing her to believe that she was in trouble. And aren't you on a mission, Uzumaki Shiori? Hi Daddy Kaibunkage. Shiori said saluting Naruto. Naruto only laughed as he picked her up and carried her back to the area where the two were working at. Sakura flipped over the strike of Gyaku's apparition clone before landing on her feet. She and a clone did 2 sets of hand seals and inhaled deeply. While Sakura released a large fireball, her clone fired a blast of mud that combined to create a fiery orange slime that rushed towards Gyaku, fire and earth, magma covering. Sakura watched as Gyaku backtracked until the molten rock stopped racing towards him and sat. She had been saving that technique for any smoke A&B that had wanted to interfere in her and Naruto's spar, but was surprised when no one did. Impressive. My turn. Gyaku said as red lightning began to form around his arms. Sakura watched as he moved his arms in a circular fashion before thrusting his arms forward, his palms pressed together with only his index and middle fingers erect. Take this. The blast of red lightning took the form of a large beast rampaging towards Sakura. Demonic lightning, beast incarnation. Sakura was able to dodge the swipe of the beast, but one of her 2 clones was hit by the attack. Once it dispelled, Sakura immediately knew the power of the beast. I guess I have no choice, Sakura said as she activated her Ein seal release. And to think, it had been such a peaceful day earlier. Don't take your eyes off of me, Gyaku shouted as he forced the giant beast to charge towards Sakura. Sakura quickly took one of her special seal kunai out of her pouch and pushed chakra into the seal. Chidori! She shouted as she attempted to cut through the red lightning. However, once she had successfully slashed the red lightning chakra, her body was immobilized, her second clone dispelling as well. What is this? The Hiramiki's demonic lightning is a Kekai Genkai unlike any you've ever seen, the Hiramiki stated as he walked towards Sakura. Even if the attack doesn't land flush, just a tap from it can paralyze anyone. This leaves the victim perfect for our signature swordplay. Sakura watched Gyaku raise his broadsword above her. I'll be able to fuck your headless body without looking at such an undesirable forehead. Sakura immediately used her Yang seal release, ending the temporary paralysis, and landed a powerful uppercut on Gyaku that dispelled his clone. Gyaku landed on his back before standing up, staring at the seething pink-haired woman. You've made a grave mistake, Sakura said doing hand seals. Summoning jutsu. Gyaku waited a while before seeing nothing. You're not even worth me attempting to use my seduction eye technique on. I guess it's time to just cut you up once and for all, bitch. Gyaku shouted as he ran towards Sakura at exceptional high speeds. Sakura stood her ground before Abius launched for Gyaku from underground. Despite his initial shock, Gyaku's reflexes were able to kick in time, and he dodged the discreet attack. Landing safely away from the hole the giant salamander had submerged itself in again. As for Sakura, she had made a plan. She would knock Gyaku off of the mountain to prevent their battle from destroying it. She then remembered that Naruto's daughter was in trouble and that Akatsuki traveled in pairs. If this guy was here, his partner was definitely somewhere nearby. And if her assumption was correct, then that somewhere nearby was actually Kamurigakyu no Sato attempting to snatch up Shiori. I have to finish this soon, Sakura said to herself. Ranmaru ended his black tornado technique after he had successfully cut through another Konoha shinobi, the last one guarding the Kurama compound. While killing was something he loathed, he knew what had to be done for this mission. 14. Sayuri said to him with a smile. Ranmaru sighed. 16. Sayuri gaped. What? 16? How the hell did you kill 16 freaking shinobi? There weren't that many guarding the place. On our way here, there were several scouting the area. Ranmaru explained as he moved to the Kurama clan's meeting hall where the clan, Girin, and Gozu were currently at. Sasami Taisha should give us the signal soon. We have to hurry. Yeah, responded Sayuri nonchalantly. You're just trying to hurry up so I don't beat you. Again. Sayuri-chan, you've never beaten me, Ranmaru said tiresomely before retracting the claws into his gloves. Even if you have somehow figured out how to copy my black tornado technique. Ranmaru paused and looked at his former teammate. Though your version of it with your water clone is quite impressive. I doubt that someone without a dojutsu or high reflexes could escape alive, Sayuri huffed. Haruno Sakura did. She's messed up my record already. Sayuri looked at the thoughtful expression on Ranmaru's face as the two neared the meeting hall. Is it me, or has Naruto-sensei been dodging the subject of Sakura since their spar? I'm surprised he didn't use two clones to hold her still and rip her ass apart with a raisin shuriken. Sayuri stated bluntly. That's what I would have done. Ranmaru stopped outside the doors of the building before looking at his slightly shorter former teammate. There is something going on with Naruto-sensei. Think about it. Sayuri frowned in thought at Ranmaru's words. He has yet to send Anbu to find her, and she is a missing nin, and knows the location of Kamuri. He used Sage Mode but didn't destroy her. In fact, he tired her out and defeated her with a rather simple seal. More importantly, whenever Lady May speaks of the event, they push everyone out, even Chojuro, and Chojuro hears everything. There was a silence coming from the normally talkative Kunoichi before Sayuri snapped her fingers. You're right. Ranmaru's sweat dropped at the statement before brushing it aside. Despite her battling knowledge, Sayuri was really not the sharpest kunai in the pouch when it came to everyday things. Though, Ranmaru had to admit that she was one hell of a cook. Ranmaru, Sayuri, the two turned to Sasami walking towards them. The area is clear. It's time for part 2 of our mission. Hi. Sure. Tsunade sat at her desk at the Konoha General Hospital with a loud and heavy sigh. She looked at her door for a moment, knowing that Shizen would soon barge in at any moment telling her of some emergency. But it never happened. Satisfied, Tsunade reached into her drawer to pull out her treasured sake, only to see that the bottle was missing. Looking for this time? Tsunade's head whipped towards the window to see the white-haired toad hermit standing on a large toad with her bottle of sake in his hands. Jiraiya, I'm only going to give you to 10 before. I have some news about Naruto. Interrupted the self-proclaimed super pervert. Tsunade immediately forgot about the drink as soon as Jiraiya finished his statement. He's alive and well, but I really can't explain the rest of it to you now. Tsunade's brows furrowed. Why the hell not? And how do you know this, Kakashi? Tsunade's frown did not lessen as her mind then thought about her unasked question. How did Kakashi know? When you're free, stated Jiraiya as he lazily tossed the bottle to Tsunade, which she caught with extra tenderness. I'll explain the rest to you. Tsunade gave a nod. While Naruto had been a rather sore subject for her to speak about, let alone think about, every so often she wished for a Jonin or Chunin to come back from a mission and tell her that they had seen Naruto, and he was doing alright. As if reading her thoughts, Jiraiya smiled. Naruto's alright, I assure you that. Tsunade nodded once more. Gyaku's face became slightly disoriented as Sakura's fist connected with his jaw, sending him flying backwards even further. I expected more out of Akatsuki. Then again, I'm not familiar with the name Hiramiki Gyaku, so you must be new. Gyaku did not respond as he stood up. Hell, I'm not even familiar with the Hiramiki clan, so you must not be that important. The Hiramiki clan is one of Naruto's chief clans. Their weaponry and red lightning makes them a force to reckon with, Gyaku said, gripping his broadsword. And unfortunately for you, you get to meet the toughest one of them all. Sakura's green eyes narrowed as she smiled wickedly. Show me then. Gyaku grunted as he ran towards Sakura. Though while her Yanseo release was still active, she was much faster and stronger than he was. Sakura dodged Gyaku's swing with his blade before her elbow was in his back, sending him tumbling forward. What is going on here? Sakura mentally cursed as she saw 3 men appear, obviously shinobi that lived within Yuzora town. They each wore white masks with different designs on them. The man with the red, fire-like design was the one that spoke. Haruno Sakura, you're in Yuzora town. His words died as Gyaku rose. Hiramiki Gyaku. Gyaku laughed gravely. Well, if it isn't one of those damn Kamuri shinobi spread amongst the country? To think that I was ever one of you. Which one should we take down, Captain? An obvious female asked, her mask blank except for blue butterfly wings that surrounded her eye holes. The leader revealed his tanto. The Kaibunkage doesn't want Hirano Sakura. He has put in a word for her Miki Gyaku though. So we will capture him. Sakura ended her Yanseo release, now using the Inseo release. She still felt that something was off about Gyaku and not just his appearance. Take your time, said Gyaku to the masked shinobi captain. I doubt that you can stop me or my partner. Die, demon! The third member, a male with orange tiger stripes on the left side of his mask, shouted. This is for my brother. Gyaku inhaled before spitting out a ghostly hand that shot towards the man, the ghostly arm to the hand stretching from deep within his throat. The hand seemed to go straight through the attacking ninja, literally pulling the man's soul from his body and into Gyaku's. What was that? The female member asked. Gyaku snickered as the wounds he received from Sakura slowly healed. The reason why Naruto and I had our fallen out was because of the kinjutsu we developed, explained the former Kamuri shinobi. His Raisin Shuriken versus my Rihando. One attacks the body, the other the soul, both irreversible. That's sick! The female masked shinobi shouted. Sakura's eyes narrowed. A move like that should have its setbacks. Even Orochimaru's immortality jutsu has its problems. You're really smart, Gyaku said, an apparition clone appearing beside him. Too bad that it's not going to help you. Your partner is obviously in Kamuri attempting to kidnap Shirori, Sakura said. That's where I'm going. Gyaku growled. Now abuse. The large salamander shot from the ground and released a thick cloud of poison. Gyaku and the two remaining masked shinobi covered themselves from the attack. Captain? The woman called as the poison cloud began to dissolve in the air and clear out. They're gone. The captain stated. Sakura's headed towards Kamuri, but Gyaku, I'm not sure. The man turned towards the fallen shinobi. But we have to tell Lord Kaibunkage what happened. Hi. Yakumo gave Naruto a bow. Thank you, Lord Kaibunkage. I know that using that jutsu must have taken a lot out of you, she said politely. Think nothing of it, responded the grinning Shodai Kaibunkage. I've been trying to figure out how many people I can transport with the reverse summoning jutsu for a while now. Besides, I should be thanking you for relocating your clan in Kamuri. My clan is now at your services, Yakumo said. Naruto spotted his daughter playing with a few of the younger members of the Kurama clan. He only smiled before turning back to Yakumo. I think I know someone that could use your clan's services, Naruto said before addressing his daughter. Come on, Shiori-chan. It's time for us to go home. Ah. But they only got here, Shiori said, her shoulders slumping. I know, but you have school tomorrow. You all do. The other children groaned at that. But seeing as Naruto was currently the Kaibunkage, they did not argue. Shiori ran to Naruto be lifted up, which he did, placing her on his shoulders as normal. Yakumo-chan, as heiress, you are required to be at the council tomorrow at 10. While the village has agreed to allow your clan to enter, your clan is a shinobi clan and must find their part in the village. Much like the Tsuchigumo and Kamizuru clans did. I will, Yakumo said. Bye, Yaku-chan, Shiori said. Yakumo giggled. Goodbye, Shiori-chan. With that, Naruto began walking away with his daughter riding his shoulders. While there the entire situation that revolved around Cheyonne's death, Naruto was fairly happy about how the day had gone. His team had successfully infiltrated Konoha and had rescued a clan, which was good, and he had gotten Shirori to take a nap where the girls slept without the interruption of a nightmare. Now if only he could figure out why Shirori snapped on Aku, would this day be completely perfect. Sumeru yawned tiredly as he began trudging out of his office. It had been another long day as Hoshikage, and he just wanted to go home to his wife and go to sleep. Lord Hoshikage, Sumeru groaned. He then spotted Akane coming towards him. We have identified who it was that allowed Akatsuki into the palace. The life in Sumeru's eyes was quickly rejuvenated as he stared at his assistant. Who? Aku,